Yeah, we can hear the music. Can y'all hear the music? Let me know. Um, okay, so yeah, what we got going on at the market right now is SIVB is failing. So there were a lot of talk this weekend. If you didn't catch what happened this weekend, you can follow Bill Ackman. If you want to follow somebody who's close to this, he's been one of my favorite traders for a while now. Bill Ackman, he's the CEO of Pershing Square Capital. He's talked about basically what it is. Um, he basically said last week that he thought that the government should do a bailout. Let me go back to last week. He also did some Twitter stuff for it. Uh, Basically, what happened last week was the bank SIVB, which is what is this bank called? I always forget. It's like it's a California bank, Silicon Valley Bank is what it's called. This bank last week essentially collapsed, um, went down 80% or more, and then got halted on the way down. Right, and so the CEO of SVB also sold about $4 million worth of shares in the days prior to the bank actually collapsing. So prior to the bank failing, the CEO basically had a fire sale where he unloaded millions of dollars worth of shares. So it's like basically the CEO knew this was happening. Essentially, is what what we think is that the CEO knew this was happening. Um, but there's a lot of companies that have exposure to SVB, and the banking sector as a whole took a pretty big drop over the last couple days. Here, hold on. Let me drink my coffee. I'm trying to wake up. I just woke up, man. Carol took a while to get to sleep last night and was loud, and so I didn't get enough sleep. Um, but yeah, basically the whole time Bill Ackman was saying he thinks that they should be a bailout of some sort. Uh, and we kind of got that. We didn't quite get that for Silicon Valley Bank. Um, and so basically, Bill Ackman said, quote, "This was not a bailout. During the GFC, the government injected taxpayer money in the form of preferred stock into banks. Bondholders were protected and shareholders were diluted to varying degrees. Taxpayer money was put at great risk. Many people who screwed up suffered minimal to no consequences. Those were bailouts." Um, Hold on. All right, and what he's referring to is the global financial crisis of 2008. So during that, again, bondholders were protected in the form of government injecting taxpayer money in the form of preferred stock into banks. He said here, shareholders and bondholders have been wiped out. The FDIC insurance fund, capitalized by premiums paid by banks, will absorb any losses, and the fund will recoup any losses by assessing more premium on the banks. Uh, but he basically thinks that this will save um, some of the turmoil that we're facing right now. And in the market, we're not yet to see that. The SPY dropped a little bit Friday. We're down to about 386s, but the market is incredibly volatile. And remember, today we have CPI coming out tomorrow. So CPI drops tomorrow. It's going to be big. And yeah, it's going to be huge. Yeah, but I mean, Raphael, you got to understand, man. Like, if you're investing, none of this should mean too much, man. Investing is willing to hold for years, brother. Like, it doesn't sound like you're investing at all, man. It sounds like you are swing trading or something like that, which is fine. You could do either one. But but yeah, I mean, we dropped substantially over the last couple days. But like, even still, guys, like we're not crashing yet. Like, sure, some banking stocks got hit for sure, but like, in the grand scheme of things, and again, I'll put it this way: it doesn't look good. I'm not gonna lie and say it looks good, because of course it doesn't. But we didn't crash yet. Again, to crash, we'd have to hit this, and we haven't hit that. We've hit maybe a third of that. You know, and so is it good? No. Does it mean we crashed? No, not yet. Maybe we keep going down. Again, if we do crash, I told people this, and I might, if this actually happens, I might have to go find when I said this. But I told people last week that we're in a very unique couple day economic release period where, like, if we get the perfect string of economic releases, the market could crash, right? And what I meant by that is, like, okay, so last week we had Jerome Powell speaking. Him being bearish could cause the market to drop. After him being bearish causes the market to drop, we've got CPI coming out and then PPI coming out. CPI tomorrow, PPI Wednesday. This is inflationary data that comes out telling us how bad inflation is, with the consumer price index, which is the biggest inflation release, and then we have PPI, which is basically the other side to that, the seller inflation. So producer price index is what PPI stands for, and all of that stuff drops over the next 2 days. Not today, but tomorrow and Wednesday. That data comes out. So we had Jerome Powell update us, basically saying maybe higher rate hikes, and now we have CPI and PPI coming out tomorrow and Wednesday. And then after that, we've got more stuff dropping as well. And then we have the Fed rate hike decision on the 22nd. If all of that stuff turns bearish, that's a situation where we could see very big red action if it goes bearish. And I'm not saying it will, we don't really know. Um, but yeah, if that stuff turns bearish, obviously that's not great. So y'all be careful, I guess, is the only thing I'll say. Yeah, the banks are getting hit for uh, yeah, but I mean, to be fair, CPI, PPI, and PCE are all same, or happen every month, right? So CPI, PPI, FOMC, or CPI, PPI, and PCE all come out each month. So that's every 30 days we're going to get that data come out. Bob says, I actually expect the Fed Reserve to only do 25 hikes from here on out, since the rate hikes caused the banks to fail. Yeah. Rumors of Powell possibly full stop reversing his sentiment and might pivot to zero. Honestly, that would cause a run in markets for sure. Again, I'm kind of loading up into some stuff here, and again, I'm buying Disney. Disney's back at my entry price where I love entering it. I'm going to preface this with, like, look, I certainly cannot guarantee you're going to make money with Disney, but Disney's at my prices where I like to start to buy. Disney's at the low 90s. I've been buying it at the low 90s each time it hits that, and it's been, you know. I'm just saying, listen, that economic data comes out every month, BSTR. And so I think we're in a very unique situation, though, where people are looking at it a little bit more than normal. That's for sure. But yeah, that data comes out every month, man. Oh wait, didn't y'all say First Republic failed too? Wow. Yeah, First Republic. Where's this bank located? Cali. This mostly looks like it's hurting California banks, to be honest. So yeah, it's down big. Now we can look up exposure to ISVB to see what banks are really exposed to this. Um, all right, so JP Morgan said, quote, overall, we believe the companies within our coverage have minimal direct exposure to SIVB. Amazon, they say we are not concerned with direct exposure, but we recognize that third-party sellers, cloud customers, advertisers, and others in the Amazon ecosystem likely have exposure. With Google, they're not concerned. Meta, not concerned, but others in that ecosystem might. Netflix, no direct exposure. Snap, no material exposure, but SVB represents $50 billion of the company's 1.05 billion credit facility at 4.8%. It's not a counterparty though; it's a Snap's capped calls for its convertible notes. Yeah, I'm looking up who has the most exposure to SIVB right now. That's where you want to start it and risk. All right, but yeah, so the question right now is again, I bought a little bit of Google, a little bit of Disney on the pullback Friday. I'm green on both of these today. I don't know. They're both very small positions, it looks like. Yeah, so we are not in anything big, to be honest here. Let me fix this real quick. Hold on one second. Hold on, let me switch this. Hold on. I gotta pull this up to make sure. All right, there we go. We're good. Um, yeah, so I didn't get enough sleep last night. But we're actually green and everything today. I mean, we're down some in our trades, but they're not much. Like Disney, we're down $30. Google, we're down $30. And I don't know whether I want to add to them or not. But I think there's an argument for it. It depends on what we think happens here. But yeah, there's FRC. FRC dropped from basically $90 all the way down to 26s. Yeah, Roku has exposure to it. I'm sure Roku, and that's probably what's dragging stuff down. I'm surprised Roku's up this much already, though. Roku didn't have the biggest drops. Pinterest, and these companies aren't down as much as you would think from it. Yeah, we had FRFC up, First Republic. It's down huge percentages, over 50%. It looks like it's down about 60%. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking up the exposure. Yeah, Signature Bank as well had exposure. It looks like, or no, Signature Bank looks like it's okay. So yeah, here is a list of the companies with Silicon Valley deposits: Circle, Roku, BlockFi, Roblox, Rocket Lab, uh, Lending Club. Yeah, so these are only the companies that have disclosed exposure. SVB has nearly 200 billion in deposits. 97% are above the FID or FDIC 250K limit. So yeah, so some people are going to be exposed here. But again, looking at Roku, number 2 on the list, they've got 487. Basically, Roku has about half a billion in SIVB. Roblox, they've got about 150 million. Lending Club, what's Lending Club? There it is. LC, they have about 21 million in deposits. So, yeah, SBNY. Yeah, I heard about Signature. And so it looks like they are halted now. First Republic, what's the symbol? There it is, FRC. I mean, I think it already is halted. Let me check, but I think it already is halted. I'm not 100% sure though. I would assume it's halted. If it's getting this much bear action, I'm assuming it's halted now. Let's. Oh no, it's not halted. It's down at 24s. So just broke lows, hit 24s right now. Yeah, puts are probably banking right now for sure. It's not. I'm trying to get. Hey, be careful, Jason. Yeah, for sure. The shareholders are the ones that are. Yeah, today and tomorrow and Wednesday are all going to be freaking absolutely ridiculous markets, man. They really are. It's going to be super volatile. CPI tomorrow is going to be the biggest one, and again, we'll stream it live. But man, uh, we'll ask people: does the market bounce back today? Does the market bounce today, or do the bank drops continue? Bounce is going to be an option. Drop is going to be an option, and then we're going to have another one where I don't know. Vote on the poll. Let us know what you guys think. Yeah, tomorrow CPI, Thursday or Wednesday is PPI. But yeah, vote on that poll. Let me know what you guys think. Yes, it bounces today and then may drop later this week. Yeah, with CPI, it depends. We're actually green today on some of our dip buys. Again, luckily, though, we didn't take any huge positions. And again, we might keep adding to it. I don't know what we're going to do with it yet. I know SIVB is still halted. I don't know when that one's going to open up. I know the government's kind of taking action into that. So. All right, so nearly 50% of all VC-backed startups in the U.S. did business with SVB Bank. Um, All right, so yeah, I'm reading what Bill Ackman's saying here. He's got a lot of good comments regarding all this. Yeah, so Bill Ackman basically said earlier today that a third of U.S. deposits are in small banks and 50% are uninsured. Haircutting SVB depositors will raise sensible questions about holding deposits in any small bank, risking a broader run. Um, the U.S. banking system has a very long tail with over 4,000 banks in total operating. The large characterization above represents the biggest 25 banks by assets, which means there's a huge tail of 5.5 trillion in deposits across thousands of banks. And remember that SVB is a large bank, which, to put into perspective, the SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, is not a small bank. This is a big bank. The FDIC insures small deposits in all the banks in the US, but that only covers about 9 trillion of the nearly 17 trillion of outstanding deposit base. Under the hood of coverage rate is roughly 50% across most institutions, while credit unions are higher. The trouble is the small banks are typically in worse position than the big banks. And again, I'm reading here by a guy named Bob Elliott, someone who Bill Ackman posted. Yeah, so I'm quoting here by a guy named Bob Elliott. To give a very rough perspective on it, small banks have 6.8 trillion in assets and 680 billion in equity. Large banks have 13 trillion in assets and 1,500 billion in equity. There's of course a lot more than that, which goes into risk assessment, but the gist is mostly right. Not only is there a regulatory reason for folks not to hold deposits at small banks because they aren't systemically important, but there's also a fundamental reason to be weary. This is why the situation with SVB is way more important than some tech bros getting hit. The risk of a run on thousands of small banks makes this a Main Street problem. End quote. And again, that's Bob Elliott. And so, yeah, basically, this is going to trickle into large banking sector, which then will trickle into the broad market economy. And so there's risks with this, which is why a lot of people were pushing for the government to do their semi bailout, and basically ensure. Um, so yeah, the Fed Reserve and the U.S. Treasury intervened basically, which the question I think we have now is like, is that going to make, now that the intervening happened, is that going to make a rebound happen today? Again, I really don't know. I think that's the real question here is like, do we rebound because of the Treasury and Fed Reserve and FDIC intervening today with Silicon Valley Bank? I think that's the real question. Again, I really don't know either. Oh wait, can y'all not hear the music? Sorry, I'm over here listening to stuff. Hold on. There you go. The silence was unbearable suspense. Nah, man, I was reading, man. All good. I mean, Carr, didn't you switch to long over the last few weeks, man? You acting like you predicted the crash is silly, bro. You were long last week, dude. I saw your post, man. Come on now. And again, I never said the crash wasn't gonna happen, man. I've been going back and forth about this all week. I told people a crash could certainly happen. I'm not telling people a crash isn't going to happen. What I've mostly said was that even if we do crash, the market bounces back within a couple years generally. And so I don't know if a crash is going to happen right now or not. I'll tell you what, the crash isn't here yet. But obviously the market's not really looking great. So I will say that if you look at the SPY here, we can look at like a 180-day chart. Really, we kind of got to look at a yearly chart to see what this is. And so we're not at a crash yet, but it's definitely not looking good, I would say. And again, it depends on what the Fed chooses to do here on out. It depends on what CPI shows up as. If CPI comes in hot and then PPI comes in hot and then the Fed decides to raise rates at 50 basis points or more on the 22nd, all of those things combined could give us the perfect storm to do this. Again, I'm not saying we will. I think there's still a solid chance that we don't. But I do think there's a chance. And again, I said that last week as well. I think if we get the perfect storm of economic data coming out over the next week or two, really the next 2 weeks, then yeah, we could have some bad stuff come through in the market. But we're still not there yet. I mean, the market's here. You know, in order to justifiably crash, and let's say by crash we mean 20%. You know, we'd still have to dump way down here, which we're not there yet. It depends on if the banks are saved, and that's a big if. You know. Yeah, Burry's definitely partying. Yeah, the Fed might do zero, right? I heard a couple people with this big weakness because, again, the speculation is that the rate hikes are what caused the failure in SVB Bank, right? So if the rate hikes are what caused it, the Fed actually might pivot to no rate hikes now. And if we do, then that'll probably cause some pretty bullish short-term sentiment in the market. But I don't know. Yeah, it might be a buy the dip situation. It might not be. I really don't know. Play some doom music. I've had puts on JP Morgan for a week. Oh, well, then you're sitting nice, man. Y'all can hear the music now, right? CPI is hot. Fed 25 basis points. CPI neutral. Cool. Yeah. I think it might be the opposite. Or yeah, I think that might be right, I guess. You know, if CPI comes in higher than expected, you know, the Fed might still do 25 basis points to combat inflation. If CPI isn't that bad, they could pivot to zero because they think they're in a safe enough spot to do so without causing too much damage. Again, both of them are plausible. I don't really know what we're going to get, but both of those decisions are somewhat plausible, you know. Yeah, again, I didn't get enough sleep last night. But yeah, we certainly could crash. I'm not saying we are, and again, we're not there yet. Like, people act like I'm just a perma bull when really I'm not a perma bull at all. What I am, I don't like sensationalization of the markets. You know, so I don't like when everybody comes in here screaming crash every single day. Eventually, whoever's screaming it's going to be right. And maybe that's what we're in now. But my point is not to say that every day. So again, I guess the question is, if we come in low for CPI tomorrow, what rate hike do you think the Fed raises? Do you think they pivot to zero because of the problems that the rate hikes are causing in banking? Or do you think they continue to do sustained rate hikes to combat inflation long-term as well? I think there's an argument for both, really. And I can certainly understand both of them. Luckily, we don't have any real, like I said, we're still pretty flat. We're holding, let me see, we're holding 40 shares of Disney, which is a very small trade. A very small trade. 40 shares of Disney means every dollar I lose $40. And so we could drop all the way down to 85 and I'd still be down like a couple hundred, and that's it. Same thing with Google. I'm holding 25 shares of Google. We're actually green on both of these today because the market bounced back a little bit. Now, we originally bounced back even more. If you look at the SPY, you know, I guess my big guess here is that when the market heard about the semi bailout here with banking, we rebound some, but then the market ended up correcting back down, and so we'll see what the market does now. We're still technically green on the day this morning in pre-market, but it doesn't mean much yet. we still got a long way. Gotcha. Yeah, tomorrow's CPI is going to be huge, man. Fed tries to keep economy good and at the same time fight inflation, so I think they'll come back a bit. Europe's central bank doesn't care about economy, but Europe isn't in deflation anyway. Yeah, you're not going to be able to short FRC. I mean, you might be able to. I'm kind of scared to. I could try to. You sure you can't? Last time I did this was with SIVB last week, and it actually let me do it. So I could try to see if it'll work for you. Hold on. I can see if it'll click. Let me see. I mean, it's not going to let me trade for another 7 minutes, though. It doesn't reject the order. I don't know whether this is ETB or STB, though. Or ETB, NTB, or what this is. But yeah, there's First Republic. There's the SPY in the middle right here. Yeah, I mean, usually it's right here, but a lot of the time, unless, like, I got to stretch this out to see it. And I don't see it yet. Is it NTB? HTB? What is the chance FRC goes bankrupt? Or FRB? I don't know. It is HTB. Okay, so it's hard to borrow right now. But yeah, I think the sketchy part is that SVB CEO sold almost 4 million in stock days before the bank collapsed. So that's the sketchiest part. And again, we saw this halted, and now it's just not resumed. Yeah, I'm looking back at other stuff. So AMC is doing a special shareholder meeting tomorrow. I don't understand that logic, bro. You're going to do a special shareholding meeting on CPI day, bro? On CPI day, Ron, you're going to do a shareholder meeting at 11 a.m. At noon? Freaking an hour, 2 hours before the CPI report, bro. I can only speculate that not many people are going to tune into your shareholder meeting. It's literally on CPI day, bro. Yeah, insider trading. It could be some of that stuff. Yeah, fire sale. Tesla's down 1%. Why? Pre-market. Yeah, well, Tesla is just a little bit like Tesla actually didn't have a bad day Friday. So Tesla actually like did a little bit better than some other stuff did Friday, you know. So again, I don't know what's going on with Tesla here. Oh yeah, CPI tomorrow, Vishal. Huge day. All right, guys. SPY's starting to rebound here. SPY almost back up to 388s. All right, so what is Jim Cramer saying about all this? All right, so Jim Cramer's saying buy. All right, so Jim Cramer says, let's read this. Jim Cramer's got some good comments on it, so we'll talk about it. He said, quote, all day today you will hear short or underinvested bears tell you how last night's Fed actions did nothing or hurt finance or the country. Go read the story of the Odyssey, the part about the sirens. Be Ulysses because they are wrong. These are not bailouts. They are a way without taxpayer money to remove the risk for those banks that invested poorly. Please read last night's club bulletin about what to do. The banks will be bifurcated. I think it is a clarion call to buy everything but tech. First Republic will open its doors, but it did need help to be rescued as regulators stepped in to help get things stabilized. Many banks did invest poorly, but most of the big banks didn't. Don't confuse those. Will the banking system be stronger today? Yes. It is not a taxpayer bailout. This is all quoting Jim Cramer. It is not a taxpayer bailout. All banks will be levied a tax on the additional risks to the FDIC. That could hurt all banks, but I think the losses will be containable. It is not your money that is being put to work. The Fed wanted to be sure that the weaker banks that invested in the longer part of the curve with money good banks can restructure. They should have allowed all the big banks to buy the assets and liabilities of SVB, but that would cause these banks to be more than 10%. So basically, Jim Cramer thinks a bounce is likely today. And we might buy some stuff up ahead of this. I don't know. Schwab. Yeah, he did. Like a month ago, he said it was a good buy. Man, look at Charles Schwab tank too, man. Charles Schwab all the way down to 51.40s. Look at this drop right now from Schwab. And again, I'm not saying I agree with Cramer. I read Bill Ackman, I read Cramer. We're just kind of reading different financial people's take on what happened. So again, we don't know what's going to happen today. What I will ask is don't be so weird about direction that, you get mad at me just for reading something. You know what I mean? Like, we're just looking at all the different financial guys and seeing what they say about it. We read Bill Ackman. We read Cramer. If you got anybody else you want me to read, let me know. Did Burry post anything? Got you. All right, let me read Schiff. Where is Peter Schiff, man? I don't see it. He doesn't have a Twitter. Oh, yeah, he does. Maybe I just spelled it wrong. There's a C in his last name. There he is. All right, so Peter Schiff says, quote, according to the president, the government bank bailout won't cost taxpayers any money. While it's true that no one's taxes will be raised to pay for it, the Fed will print lots of money to cover the cost. That's inflation, and everyone will be paying higher prices as a result. The Fed knows the economy is so fragile that the failure of SVB would cause a financial crisis, so it abandoned its inflation fight and backstopped the banks instead. That proves that Powell was lying about both the strength of the U.S. economy and his resolve to fight inflation. So yeah, basically, there's another take on that. And so basically, he's saying that while we save the banks, it's going to make inflation a lot worse. I might buy a little bit of Schwab here. What do you guys think? Should I buy Schwab? Again, we are in Google today, so we are rebounding a little bit. About like Walmart. So basically, they say the stocks to look out for tech. There's FRC rebounding some here. Should I try to short it? I'm going to short it with one share just to see if it lets me. No, it didn't let me. No, it won't let me short a FRC. But yeah, SPY bouncing back a little bit. There's Schwab here. What contract will you be trading this week, March or June? It is time to roll over contracts. You can look it up. Look up on Google what contract of the E-mini to trade. Okay. And it'll give you which contract to trade. What is the current contract of the ES to trade today? Chat could probably help me out with this too. Right now, I'm showing ESM3. ESM3 is the contract I'm going to be trading today. So we're going to be trading basically this one right here. There you go. But yeah, the ESM3 I think is the one we currently trade, but I'm not 100% sure. I would check yourself. Again, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I'm not messing with bank stocks at all for sure. If I buy stuff today, it's not gonna. The only bank stocks I might mess with are like strong banks that had minimal exposure, like maybe JP Morgan, and definitely not Bank of America. All right, so I'm looking at banks that had the highest exposure to SBV. All right, so JP Morgan, let me look at this. I mean, JP is down. What about Citi? C is down. Not that much, though. JP Morgan is down. Bank of America, I'm not touching it, though. Bank of America's got too much risk. It's down. It dropped bigger percentages than a lot of these other ones. Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is down about 20% today. Or 20%, I mean, in the last week or so. So I don't know. Look at FRC rebound here. Again, I might buy a little bit of Schwab. Just a little bit here. The risk is high, so I'm going to take like 10 shares and see if we get a bounce back. Yeah, so we're going to take a little bit of Schwab, and we're going to take profits quickly on the rise, though. So we're in 10 shares of Schwab. We'll see if it bounces back. Again, just a small trade. Yeah, to be honest, if housing does get slammed, I'll probably just start buying up some real estate here. Like I said, I've got some money I've been waiting to spend on real estate. So if housing gets slammed, I'll probably scoop in and buy some stuff up. Looking at our poll number, we asked people, 48% of people still think the market's going to drop today. 18% don't know, and 34% are looking for a bounce right now. Yeah. I mean, big bounce back, you know. Yeah, 100% bounce back in FRC in the last 6 minutes. How can Bitcoin still be at 22K? Because in certain ways, the reality of it is, in certain ways, bank weakness is good for crypto. And to a certain degree, not like a for sure thing, but like in some ways, bank weakness is good for crypto because it makes people more optimistic in crypto. Because a lot of people are going to say, "See, this is why we need crypto," with the bank failure. All right, so Biden is scheduled to speak at 8 a.m. on banking. So that is in an hour. We got Biden speaking. We'll cover that for sure. What's gold doing? Give me some gold symbols. I'm sure gold is doing really strong right now, and I think a lot of people are worried about it, inflation, and so that's going to make people buy gold. All right, so we're in 10 shares of Schwab. We might add a little bit more. But the market has basically bounced all the way back to close to 390s here. Yeah, all good. Fury Sand. Yeah, it looked like gold stuff is doing really well. GDXU. Futures. Yeah, you can trade gold futures /GC. Yeah, so honestly, my Google trades bounced all the way back here. All right, market dipping down a little bit now. Again, with Google, we're up a little bit today. We're up about $1 per share in Google. With Disney, we are up about 25 cents a share so far on the positions that we have. Now, a big interesting part of this, and we will unload this very quickly if Schwab starts to, if we start to get a lot more weakness in banking, we'll start to unload. The reason I bought Schwab here is because I think Schwab's going to be fine regardless of it. And Schwab essentially dropped 30%. That's a big drop, man. And so I think, there's an argument for, even if this continues to dump down here, I think there's an argument for buying this with Schwab because I think Schwab's going to be okay regardless. And I think establishing a position now, might be a decent idea. We're going to take 20 shares right now. And again, we will get out of Schwab fast if we really need to be. Look at FRC reversing all the way back down, though. So some people made 100% in about 7 or 8 minutes. Now we just dropped back down another $10 a share here. So we basically just dropped all the way down 25% over the last 2 minutes in FRC. So that's an interesting dynamic to watch for as well here. Yeah, CPI tomorrow. We don't know if it's going to come in hot. Again, a lot of people are speculating on what the Fed is going to do for their rate hike decision coming out. So it'll be an interesting time, to be honest. And again, we're down a little bit on this trade that we just took, but I think we got to be willing to hold it. Take some risk based off of the potential of Schwab here. Maybe not, though. Again, it's not a huge position. We're in 20 shares. So, I mean, we'll be all right no matter what. But we'll have to reevaluate this in a couple minutes, see what we want to do with it. We are green on Google, up about $25, about $1 a share in Google. We are green on Disney as well. So we're up about 40 or 50 bucks on those two trades today. Well, here. So we're actually green on the day despite all of this stuff. Surprising. Believe it or not. FRC just bounced. I think a lot of this is following the banks too, to be honest here. I'm trying to see where the president's supposed to be speaking. All right, so basically what happened with SBV is simple. The bank failed. Like, don't get it wrong. The bank absolutely failed. It's not a conventional bailout, as the company was not rescued here. It's currently worth nothing right now for SBV. So, like, SBV is worth zero right now. That's the big thing to understand, is that, okay, so what happened was that customer deposits were repaid so that there wasn't, like, a crisis, if that makes sense, right? So, again, the government's going to basically repay deposits. They're going to let people get their money. Is essentially what happened. They're not going to make everybody, all the bank holders, lose money in it. Shareholders are going to get hurt, obviously, because the company's now worth nothing, essentially. So the company's now worth zero. But they're going to let customer deposits they're going to let customers get their deposits out. So again, the company, SVB, wasn't necessarily bailed out. It wasn't a conventional bailout when they essentially saved the company. That's not what this is. This was essentially them protecting customers. And so just to give you that nuance of it, that's an important part of this to understand. But the limit is 250,000. The FDIC limit is 250K. So, if somebody has more than that, they're making customers whole, it sounds like. So I'm not sure if I'm reading up on this now. Okay, so yeah, somebody said, I know somebody with 10 million in the bank and they are getting all 10 million back. So yeah, it looks like even over 250K, it looks like they're still making that right. So again, that's the best case scenario, I think, there. Yeah, taxpayers are going to be paying it out. Yeah, I'm not messing with First Republic, bro. Not in any way, dude. It's too sketchy, dude. There's too much risk there, man. Again, there's too much risk. I talked about this like last week. You guys might have saw me playing around with SVB, right? You saw me playing around with SVB where I was shorting it for a small period of time, and I eventually just got out. And the reason I got out quickly was because I told people, I said, hey, look, there's more risk here than just drops, right? I was like, hey, this could get halted anytime and never resume. This could get halted and go to zero. And as a short trader, I wouldn't be able to make my money if it got halted and never resumed, as well as it could get halted and it could have a bailout and get halted and rip up $100 a share. And so in that regard, I just wanted to get flat in SVB, and it looks like, and then it was halted less than like 10 minutes later. And so you got to understand the risks here. Again, the expression I always use, it's kind of like picking up pennies in front of a train. It's like you might get away with it a few times, but the risk reward's not really there, Yeah, it could have been really bad. Yeah, we got out fast. And again, less than 10 minutes later, it got halted. So we understand the risks and we cut it because I've seen this happen before. But yeah, this is just going to be a crazy day, man. Again, it's CPI week. Also, guys, remember, if you want to trade some of this volatility, the futures market is where you do it, right? So if you look at the E-mini here in the middle, or if you look at the E-mini on the left, or on the right side here, and then you look at the SPY in the middle, which is what is influenced by all this volatility, it's the same price action here. So this is the same as this. You know, you can trade this side. Let me put it, that's a 5-minute chart. So let me put a 1-minute chart. So yeah, you can see it's the same thing here. So this is the same as this. So you can see drop. But you can trade this right side with no PDT rule. You can day trade it, short it in futures, no PDT restriction. And Top Step is the easiest way to get exposure to stocks with no PDT rule, right? So you can day trade the futures market without restriction. You can short, you can go long with a margin account. You can take however much you want and take a margin account, get instant settlement, shorting ability, long ability, all that good stuff. And you're essentially day trading, you know, the S&P 500, which is what is exposed to all this stuff. So it's like if you want to day trade this stuff, the futures market's where you do it. One of my sponsors is Top Step. And I usually don't plug it this early, but I think, you know, just so people can have the understanding on how you trade some of this volatility, the futures market is where you want to do it. You can also trade gold, and there's no PDT in futures. You can day trade, short those markets as much as you want. If you want to try that stuff out for, you know, for much cheaper than it would be, putting up the money yourself, you need like 5 or 10, 15,000. You can try out Top Step and test your skill in futures, get started, learn how to trade it. If you're good enough, you can get funded, because what they do is they give you a demo. If you can hit the target on their demo while following their rules, so basically the base one, the smallest one, they give you 50K in a demo. And if you can hit 3K in profit on that demo without losing their max loss, which I believe is 2K, and when following the rest of their rules, if you could pass that testing, they legitimately fund you 50 grand with a 90% split. And this is a company that's located and regulated by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They're located in the US. They pay out millions, fund thousands a year. And the big thing is, like, the base one's less than $140 a month. And I think most traders are going to lose, because most traders lose money day trading. And so this is one of the ways you can get exposure to day trading stocks without taking on a lot of risk. If you lose, it's not the end of the world, but if you can pass their testing, again, a 90% split once you pass it. And so, you know, you make 20K, you keep 18K since they're funding you that money. So if you want to check it out, again, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor. Here's the link if you want to check them out. Great way to help support the channel. There's the link right there in chat. I appreciate the support. How long can you keep it when losing? So they have a max loss. So you hit the max loss, you lose. You lose the challenge. And you can reset for $100. So you could reset it whenever you want, and start over again and take the challenge again. But yeah, they're not just going to let you swing for the fences, you know, in a really risky way. That's just not how it works, you know. All right, so we rebound a little bit in Schwab here. And again, we'll see if it holds. But again, Schwab is down so much. I think there might be an argument for an overreaction here. Hey, don't yell at Bot. Don't yell at Nightbot. He's a friend, Hans. He's a friend, man. Leave Nightbot alone, bro. Yeah, you can use it. I'm pretty sure in the UK, you can use it wherever you want. I think it's available in like 100+ countries, if I remember correctly. But what a crazy day. Already 3 banks will be more people take money from banks. Yeah, I bought a little bit of Schwab. I just think the risk reward's okay. Right now, it's just kind of looking for stuff that overreacted here. You know, that's what I'm looking for. It's just overreactions. We'll see if Schwab pops up. Like I said, we got 20 shares right now. So, you know, we pop up to 56, 57, 58. Then we'll probably take a little bit off and then hold some. Is my music too loud? I'll lower it a little bit, but not much. There we go. Yeah, but Andrew, we already asked people. Most people want the music, man. We've asked the chat many times, hey, you want music or no music? And everybody's always like, yeah, leave the music. So should the banks help SVB? All right, so First Republic, still kind of sketchy right here, guys. So again, here's FRC, one of the other big hit banks right now. So here's FRC. And this is influencing the bank sentiment here. Dropped all the way down to 30. Very volatile, man. So FRC Bank has $212 billion in assets, down 55% in pre-market or more here. So just a big bank that is really, really struggling today. And I think a lot of the other banks are moving here with sympathy. John doesn't speak that much. Might seem like he talks a lot, but yeah. Usually people only say I talk a lot if I'm saying something that they disagree with, And it's like, yeah, and so I try not to leave too much dead sound, like no sound. But yeah, most people want the music. Number one in broadcasting, don't stop talking. Yeah. Oh, we don't, man. We talk a lot. But what it does is like we have to repeat ourselves a lot too. People are like, oh, you say the same thing every day. It's like, well, kind of, but you kind of have to. I get the same questions every day, to be fair, But yeah, guys. So SVB here, a lot of talk about this online. All right, but yeah, Biden's supposed to speak about the banking crisis this morning. I'm trying to see where. Might be just YouTube. We go to White House Live. Usually that's they're gonna post it. It says there's no live streaming events for the Yeah, I don't see any actual schedule for it. So let me look at Twitter. Sometimes they'll talk about it on Twitter. All right, so all right, where is he supposed to speak? Does anybody know? I mean, it's supposed to be in 30 minutes, so it's supposed to be at 8 a.m. is when this is supposed to be. But I mean, a lot of the time he's a little bit late. Basically, this is what Biden said. Biden said, at my direction, Secretary Yellen and my National Economic Council director work with banking regulators to address problems at SVB and Signature Bank. I'm pleased they reached a solution that protects workers, small businesses, taxpayers, and our financial system. They said, quote, again, the American people and American businesses can have confidence that their bank deposits will be there when they need them. I'm firmly committed to holding those responsible for this mess fully accountable and to continuing our efforts to strengthen oversight and regulation of larger banks so that we are not in this position again. I'll have more to say tomorrow morning. Is it true that SVB was actually created in 1987 from a poker game? All right, guys. So again, we're supposed to have a Biden. We're supposed to have a speech live today at 8 a.m. I'm looking for where it is. I don't see anything scheduled yet, though. We're gonna try to air it. We just gotta find it. I don't see it scheduled anywhere, so we'll air it. We'll air it. We'll find it. You just gotta give us some time to find it. We'll get it though. There's no Fed meeting today. No. What there is there's CPI tomorrow, which isn't a meeting. It's inflation data that comes out tomorrow, which will be really, really interesting considering the current market landscape right now. So it'll be really important to watch. There's an emergency meeting. Let me check. Calendar here. Bear with me. I'm checking the calendar. So today is the 13th. Yeah, I don't see anything scheduled right now. But I don't see where it's listed. I'm looking at news and events. So yeah, the Fed Reserve announced it will make available additional funding to eligible depository institutions to help assure banks have the ability to meet the needs of their depositors. But yeah, I don't see. I'm looking for the actual Biden speech, but. Check their YouTube channel. The emergency meeting is supposed to be at 8 a.m. Eastern, which is in right now it's 7:30 Eastern. So it's supposed to start in 30 minutes, I think. There might be a closed board meeting going on right now, but we don't have access to it. It's going to be at 11:30 on today. It's the closed meeting of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve at 11:30 today. It's going to be held under expedited procedures. And by audio video. So yeah, man, they might be doing an emergency meeting, but it's a closed door meeting. So they're going to be meeting today, but we're not going to have access to that meeting. The president's also supposed to speak at, again, I think he's going to speak at 8. Yeah, I mean, they're going to send the decisions out. Well, markets are actually up today. So SPY, a lot of stuff is actually green today. My Google dip buys, Disney dip buys are actually green today. So the markets are actually up a little bit today. SPY is technically red right now, or technically green. It closed at 385.90s. It's at 386s. So I don't know. I've never had the popcorn there, man. So the SVB Twitter account no longer exists. All right, so Goldman Sachs says, quote, in light of recent stress of the banking system, we no longer expect the Fed to deliver a rate hike at its March 22nd meeting with considerable uncertainty about the path beyond March. So Silicon Valley went from 200 billion to failure in 48 hours. So the U.S. Treasury Secretary said, quote, this situation is not 2008. Yeah, there's a video of people lining up to try to get money out the bank. All right, so look at FRC just dumped down under $30 a share here, under $30 at $26 right now, 26 bucks. Well, all the way to 26 fast too. So look at the drop down to 26 here. So watch, keep an eye on FRC right now. It is falling down pretty quick. All right, so FRC dropped under 30 here. Again, SPY kind of going back and forth right around the previous closing price. Yeah, let's watch the dollar index here. So again, we're bouncing up a little bit on FRC. We hit 2075 at the lows this morning. We're currently at about $28 a share, 28 bucks a share. The SPY has not moved that much over the last couple minutes here. It'll be an interesting time to watch everything. Yeah, the Fed, we will do whatever it takes to stop inflation. A couple bank failures later. Fed, we'll do whatever it takes to shore up our banking system. Yeah, so again, inflation problems are probably on the horizon here, especially if the Fed pivots where a lot of people thought they might. Now that the banking system is in trouble, a lot of people think the Fed is going to pivot to zero rate hikes. If that does happen, if that does happen, inflation is probably going to get worse. All right, guys. So again, we're getting a little bit of a rebound in FRC, almost back up to 30s here. He's supposed to potentially speak in 20 minutes, but again, I don't see it scheduled anywhere. I'm looking on the YouTube. I'm looking at the actual website. I'm looking at everywhere. Okay, here we go. So it is scheduled now. Oh, wait. So this is... Okay, here it is. So it's supposed to be 8:15 market time today. So 8:15. So they're planning on starting this an hour later, but at least they have it scheduled. So yeah, so he's supposed to deliver remarks on the economy at 8:15, and we will stream this. It's supposed to start at 95 minutes. I don't understand the purpose of doing it 15 minutes before the opening bell. You know, so this is in an hour and a half. This is in like 15 minutes before the opening bell. So I don't understand that. But yeah, that's when it's supposed to start. But yeah, it's supposed to be regarding banking, and we'll stream it. Don't worry, like we'll stream it. But yeah, it's supposed to be later on this today. But they do have it scheduled finally. Let's see if the White House says anything about it now too. Yeah, so they scheduled it on their YouTube. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so we're probably gonna do. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. You think we're still going to do 25 basis points, Leo, or at least the possibilities. So there's a 23% chance we do zero rate hike. I don't know. I think we might do zero rate hike. We'll stream the entire thing live here, so don't worry. We'll cover all of it. But yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, guys. So again, we are in Schwab right now. We're slightly green here. If we pump up some more to like 56, we'll take a little bit more off here. But the whole point is to capitalize on some of these rebounds here. Well, define NASDAQ, Kelly. What do you mean? The NASDAQ 100? You could basically use it with any symbol that they have on TradingView. Yeah, I mean, no reason to say it over and over again, immigrant. So I saw you say it the first time. Again, I'm not really a super political guy, but saying the same thing over and over again will get you banned here. So just a friendly request not to spam stuff, please. Google back up to roughly 92. We're green on that one today. And again, we are green on this one as well. I think I'm going to let this sit for a second. I want to see if we rebound some more than this in Schwab. If we get up to 56 or 57, so we'll take some of that off. John, what would happen if they pause the interest or rate hikes? Would this make the stocks drop? Oh, it'll probably make markets go up short term. So if they announce they're going to pivot to zero, it'll probably make stuff go up short term, right? But what it'll ultimately mean is that we have inflation problems that are primed to last, right? So it just means we have inflation problems at our door. You know what I mean? Like, it just means inflation problems are at our door. So again, right now the market is fearing inflation. You know, that's a very obvious thing. Like, the market is fearing inflation. Prices are high. If we pivot to no rate hikes, then that means that we don't have anything discouraging spending. And if nothing is discouraging spending, then inflation could get out of control. And I think that's a risk. I still think it's going to make a short-term market reaction, a short-term positive market reaction. But hey, my guy Clayton, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, sir. Shout out to Clayton with the $20 donation, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man, for sure. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Thank you so much, dude. That's great. What do you guys think is going to happen here? But yeah, so basically, inflation problems if the Fed does pivot to zero. So inflation problems. Should I take some off of Schwab here? I'm already up in it. I guess I'll let it sit. You know what? I'll take 5 shares off of this. It's such a small position. Are you gonna let me out? No? Okay, so it's not gonna let me out. There we go. All right, so we just took 5 shares off of it. Locked in some profit on the day, so that's good. But yeah, thanks, Clayton. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Yeah, I appreciate all the donations and subs we got over the last couple, weeks, to be honest. We're gonna do another poll here. So we asked people, does the market bounce today, or does the bank drop continue? Do the bank drops continue here? I really don't know. We're gonna have a good poll here, and we're gonna ask people, what rate does the Fed raise on March 22nd? So we're going to do 0 basis points, the pivot. We're going to do 25 basis points, which is as expected currently. We're going to do 50 basis points, higher than expected, obviously. And then we're going to do something else and comment. So again, let me know what you guys think. But vote on that poll. Let us know what you guys think in that regard here. All right, so we got a nice little pop up here. We're going to go ahead and take some profit off of this here. So we just locked in some more profit here. We got 10 shares left on Schwab. Again, bought the little dip. We thought we might bounce. But yeah, vote on that poll here. Is basically how much will the Fed raise on March 22nd. Vote on that poll. Let me know what you guys think. Is Bitcoin ripping up? A lot of people talking about Bitcoin doing well. Yeah, Bitcoin up to 22K. I mean, over 20K. Bitcoin's essentially just rebounding from the drops that it made last week, though. So yeah, Bitcoin is essentially just kind of bouncing back from the drops it made earlier last week. That's essentially all this is, And again, let me know what you guys think. Looking at the voting numbers here, 51% or 50% basically think 25 basis points is expected. And I know that's right now, in terms of odds and probabilities, that's what has the highest odds and probabilities, is 25 basis points. That's what's expected right now. And I do think that's what makes the most sense. It's the least polarized decision by the Fed here, which is, again, it's the least polarized decision. So basically 25 basis points would be as expected, the same as last time. But again, I think you got to understand the real nuance of it, which is over the last 30 days, we've had worse than expected inflationary data, right? So we've had worse than expected data over the last 30 days. When Jerome Powell spoke last week during his congressional and House testimony, he said basically that we might have to raise rates more aggressively than anticipated, right? But that was before the bank run and the bank collapse. And that was before the bank collapse happened, right, with SBV. And so after SBV's failure here, which, again, they blamed partially on the rate hikes. So after that collapse, a lot of people are assuming that the Fed now doesn't raise rates as aggressively as they initially expected here. So again, a lot of people thought that we would go up to 50 basis points because of the worst inflationary data that we've had over the last 30 days. But after the bank collapse, a lot of people think that the Fed will no longer do that out of fear of it sparking more catastrophic drops in the banking sector and other sectors as a whole, right? So again, I think the most likely situation there, now that I think about it, the most likely situation is probably 25 basis points. Again, it's kind of the least polarized view. 25 basis points would not be 50 like a lot of people expected last week, but it's not going to be 0 like a lot of people expect this week. And so I think 25 makes the most sense. But at the same time, I also think it depends on what we get tomorrow. Tomorrow we have CPI coming out. Very relevant data. It's inflationary data. It's the biggest inflationary economic release that we have all month, which is, again, CPI tomorrow at 8:30. That's going to come out. That'll be interesting to watch. If that comes in really, really high, then maybe we do pivot to 0. But again, I'm not sure what we get there yet. And again, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, what's up, Tony? I'm leaning toward 25. I don't see 50. Yeah, I don't see 50 either. I think the rate hike going 50 it's just kind of like lighting a match in gasoline right now. I just think it's a terrible idea. I think if they try to do 50, I think it's going to look really bad, and it's going to make a lot of people really, really scared, and that's going to cause some emotional reactions in markets. And so I think 25 makes the most sense. Yeah, we'll see, Shepard. I hope it's good, but it needs to be good right now with everything going on. You know, it needs to be good, but again, we don't really know. I think 25 is most likely the situation. Again, vote on the poll right now. We'll do a poll. We'll do the same poll on Twitter. Is SIVB still halted here? Yeah, so with the collapse. All right, guys, so we're going to do a poll right now on hey, do me a favor, hit that like button as well, guys, if you haven't yet. We appreciate it. We're going to do a poll right now on Twitter also if you want to participate in this. We're going to do we're going to do the same poll. So 25 as expected. Again, we're going to check the other poll too. All right, guys. So yeah, so we're gonna make this poll last for what? Just to give us some nice little sentiment here. We're gonna make this poll last for 3 days. All right, so we got the Twitter poll going live. Also, y'all be sure to give me a follow on Twitter. Here's SIVB. FRC is kind of holding a little bit better here. We did buy some Schwab this morning and took profit already. It's not going to be a losing trade, but we bought it and then it dipped some more. The plan is just to kind of see how long this can hold. But again, make sure to give me a follow on Twitter if you haven't already. It's at Beginner Trades. At Beginner Trades is my Twitter handle. But if you give me a follow on Twitter, I appreciate it. We cover a lot of this stuff. Here's my Twitter page. I'm not too young to remember it, Andrew. I saw it, man. I experienced it. Yeah, time went back an hour, Rowan. Or no, we lost an hour, so time jumped forward an hour is what happened. Again, if you want to vote on the Twitter poll we just did, same poll we have on our YouTube, essentially. There's the link right there. Check it out. Expectation on the market tomorrow. Yeah, so we can talk about it. We can talk about it. Tomorrow's CPI. It drops at 8:30. Again, expectations for that tomorrow are for 6% is what they're expecting. 6% on the year, 0.4% on the month is what they're expecting for base CPI. Core CPI is expected to show up at 0.4% on the month, 5.5% on the year. I mean, if we hit that number, I think that'll be positive. That's much lower than last time, much lower than before. And so if we hit that number, it does show signs that inflation is getting better. You know, so again, CPI 6% is much lower than it's been throughout the last year, really. And so hopefully we get something like that. Again, I don't know. Yeah, so basically what happened was the clocks, it was daylight savings time, so the clocks jumped forward an hour last night. We lost an hour of sleep on Sunday morning. Right, and so yeah, the White House is supposed to speak today. Again, he's supposed to start speaking at 8:15, so 9:15 market time is when it's scheduled, and we will stream that as much as we can, at least, because that's going to influence the market. So we will stream that as much as we can. Let me make sure we're actually monetized. I'm pretty sure we are. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. So yeah, it'll be interesting, man. It'll be a fun day today. We'll have a lot of activity. We're pretty flat. We're holding. We bought some Google and Disney after the drops, right? So we're pretty flat. We're green on today, actually, at Disney and Google, but they're not huge positions because, again, to be honest, I'm just not confident enough yet. I do think there's an argument for some dip buys, though. I think if this whole thing gets straightened out to where, like, say CPI comes in better than expected tomorrow, that'll be a very optimistic sign, because that would mean that the Fed might be more willing to pivot because we're seeing inflationary drops, as well as, the banking stuff going on. I think if we get better than expected inflation data today or tomorrow, then there could be an argument for a pivot on the 22nd, but I'm not 100% sure. Man, dude, I didn't get enough sleep last night, bro. All right, team. I don't know, Anon. Did Adam Aaron win any Oscars for his portrayal of a CEO? Yeah, he's supposed to be doing a meeting tomorrow, an AMC shareholder meeting tomorrow. But my problem with that is, he's doing it, bro. He's doing it right at CPI time. He's doing it at freaking an hour before CPI is supposed to drop. Aaron is out here doing shareholder meetings for AMC, dude. I can only question how many people are actually going to show up. Tesla downgraded. Yeah, Tesla's getting a little bit more volatile than other stuff today. Tesla all the way down to 170. So Tesla is reeling from this a little bit more than other stuff, to be honest. Tesla all the way down to 170s. I don't know if there's an argument for a dip buy or not, but I didn't sleep good because Carol went and get to freaking bed, bro. Carol sitting out there doing her nails and doing her nails with the drill. At 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. I'm sitting there like, baby, I got to get up in the morning at 5 a.m., 4:30. She's like, okay, I'm almost done. And then she just kind of keeps up. Honestly, Now I didn't get enough sleep, and I blame Carol. You know, I love her, but she stayed up all night doing her nails. Now I'm tired. All right, so the Ripple CEO confirmed that they had an undisclosed amount of cash in Silicon Valley Bank. Jim Cramer said, buy Silicon Valley Bank at $350. It's cheap. This was months ago. The curse continues, guys. Yeah, we are in Schwab a little bit. I'm a pretty good sleeper too, man, but I'm a pretty deep sleeper too. Once I'm asleep, that is. When I'm falling asleep, like, I can fall asleep easy, it depends. Twitter and Elon are trying to save the economy. Users are being auto-blocked from viewing Cramer's tweets. They're trying to protect Cramer. All right, so again, to summarize, the Kobesi letter said, this is the summarization of the SBF debacle, okay? All depositors will have access to all money today. So as of today, all depositors are going to be able to access their money today. Nobody's going to lose their money that held money at Silicon Valley Bank. Again, number one, this is not referring to shareholders. If you're stuck in SVC, or if you're stuck in Silicon Valley Bank as a shareholder or bondholder, that's it. Like, you're done. I mean, again, I'm not saying you're done, but like, you're gonna lose your money that you invested in them, for the most part. You know, if you invested in Silicon Valley Bank, like, you're gonna be, you're gonna lose, most of your investment money in Silicon Valley Bank. Again, it's not referencing depositors; it's only referencing investors. The Fed announced a new emergency bank funding program. The Fed is going to make additional funding available to banks, and the FDIC and Fed discussed these plans with the president. So it's kind of like a bailout. Again, we bought a little bit of Schwab. Again, you can kind of see we're green buying that dip here. The market has been essentially flat right now. And it's interesting to watch to see what happens here, but the market is basically flat. That's not fair for the shareholders. Oh, it's absolutely fair, in my opinion. Right? There's a difference between having money in a bank and then investing in a bank, right? When you invest in a bank, brother, you take the risk. You got to understand, like, anytime you invest money in anything like that, you take the risk, man. Like, the risk is you. If you have money in a bank, like if you're just a depositor, like if I use a specific bank, there's a difference between protecting bank holders, like people who have accounts, than shareholders. When you buy shares of anything, you do so with the understanding that if that company fails, that's on you. Just like if that company succeeds, that's on you, right? There's a speculative nature in investing. And that's an understood thing universally. There's a speculative nature in investing. That's an understood thing universally. Having a bank account is not a speculative thing. Okay, so there's a big difference. I agree with it. I don't think the shareholders should be bailed out of SBC or Silicon Valley. Of course, they're going to say, oh, we should be, because they don't want to lose that money. But it's like, to be honest, man, if you've got a huge position in Silicon Valley Bank, like one of these, it's a big bank, but it's still not like one of the big boys. Like, you got to understand the risk that you take when you invest. And again, that's the risk, is that you might not, again, sometimes banks fail. Yeah, but I mean, guys, understand this isn't short sellers' fault. Like, I think a lot of people, especially after like the AMC thing, a lot of people just start acting like shorts or these shadowy figures just holding banks down. Like that's not what it is at all, man. Most of these are easy to borrow. Like the only way, like when there's a lot of shorts, it just means there's a lot of long term. When there's a lot of shorts, it just means there's a lot of long term investors. That's all it really means. And if anything, shorting just gives liquidity. Like the reason the reason Silicon Valley Bank failed is not from short traders whatsoever, right? Uh, it failed because of the collapse in the banking sector and from them not being profitable. Like it's not from shadowy short figures just holding it down. And again, I think sometimes when people lose money investing or whatever it is, they kind of want to blame shorts. Shorts aren't really the problem here. That's all it really means. Like shorts aren't the problem here. I mean, the Feds aren't doing that, Raphael. Again, I think it's important not to sensationalize the stuff going on. What I will say is that if the recent drops in the market, if the market dropping from 400 down to 385 has caused you to lose massively, then you're probably trading way too large, to be honest. Again, if we look at a daily chart here, this ain't good, of course, but like it shouldn't signal too much trouble. We got a very similar thing back here. At the December. In December, we basically dropped an equivalent amount to what we dropped, or we dropped more than that in December relative to where we're dropping now here. And so if this drop destroyed your account, then you are trading way too large, brother. Way too large, man. And so again, it's important not to sensationalize. There goes the SPY dump. As I said this, look at the SPY tank here. What I see right now is Tesla starting to break down. So I do see Tesla starting to break down. And I see banking start to do okay. So here's my Schwab trade. So we just cracked, but again, even with this drop, right, we're still pretty flat on the day. We're slightly under the previous closing price now, but we are technically red on the day. We did break under this low, and we'll see if we rebound here. FRC is not really moving that much, so generally this is going to be caused by another stock tanking here. And so we can try to figure out what that is. Microsoft at 250, not really that. Apple down under 150, it's at 148. Let's see, what else do we have? Walmart's actually up a little bit today. Yeah, we're gonna cover it when it goes live, Alexander, but it's not scheduled to start now. Again, this is the speech is scheduled to start at 8 a.m. So it's scheduled to start in about an hour, and again, we'll stream it live. So it's scheduled to be at 8 a.m. So at 8 a.m. is when it's scheduled to start. It's scheduled to start at 9 a.m. market time, I mean. So 9 a.m. market time. So we got about 50 minutes. All right, so Jim Cramer said, when was this? That he's intrigued by these top 10 performing stocks. Number 9 was SVB. And this was a while ago. All right, so we got Sunrun, Roku. The companies that are really going to be struggling in all this are companies that had exposure to Silicon Valley Bank, and that's specifically Roku, Sunrun, Sunrun, which is Run right here, KYMR. These are the banks that are gonna. I mean, if they have cash, they're gonna get their money back, so it doesn't really matter, I think, for these companies, right? So there could be an argument if you find some of these that are really extended on the downside because of fears, that maybe some of these rebound because, again, they basically said that they're going to be paying out anybody who held accounts with with SVB. Yeah, so First Republic Bank, FRC. Yeah, we've been watching this. It's been mostly quiet though over the last couple minutes, but no, we've been watching this one for sure. This is one of the ones that we're watching the most. No hat today? Nah, I don't know where my hat is, man. It's somewhere. It'll be all right. Looking at our poll numbers here. So again, we did some poll numbers. Hey, thank you, Andrew. Shout out to Andrew, man, with the donation. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, brother. Sorry I missed it. I don't know when you did. Oh, there it goes. Hey, thank you, Andrew, my guy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, for sure. I think zero will cause more problems than it'll help. So I think pivoting to zero rate hikes is going to cause more problems than it's actually going to help. I think with inflation being such a big problem right now, but I think it also depends on what happens during the Fed rate or during CPI tomorrow. So like CPI comes out tomorrow, that'll be a big influence over what happens here. Yeah, look at this tank right now. So the market's dumping down here. Let's see why. Do you guys see the associated stocks on why the market is dropping right now? Again, Apple is dropping. Apple just went red on the day. Tesla down to 169s right now. Tesla down to 169s. We have Walmart at 137s here. What's another big cap stock that we should pay attention to just, during all this? I guess we should look at like JP Morgan reversing back down. Bank of America down to 29s, 28s. Be careful investing in banks right now, though. But yeah, there's the SPY down to 380s here, 380s. Yeah, I think a pivot will cause more problems. All right, so yeah, ExxonMobil dumping down. So look, here's ExxonMobil here. Look at ExxonMobil. Down to 104s right now, 104s. Look at that. That's a big drop. All right, so we had Indian CPI come out a couple minutes ago, worse than expected, 644 versus 635 expected. So we had Indian CPI inflation data come out that was worse and higher than expected. Amazon and Rivian are reportedly in talks to scrap the exclusivity part of their EV van deal, allowing Rivian to sell to others after the tech giant's order for 2023, according to Wall Street Journal here. But yeah, look at Exxon breaking down right now. Amazon's still doing all right. It's at 91, so we might buy up a little bit of Amazon. But I know Amazon had exposure to SVB is the problem. Rivian didn't really react too much to this. Tesla is what's breaking down right now. Tesla just cracked under lows. Tesla hit 760s or 169. I mean, so Tesla actually breaking down is what's part of the reason for this. Tesla breaking down, ExxonMobil breaking down some too. Bitcoin falling right now? Is it really? No, it's falling a little bit. Bitcoin's not really reacting much. Really, it's Tesla. Tesla just cracked 168. So Tesla is really what's falling right now. So Tesla down to 168. We can look at like Apple as well. You know, when we look at the S&P 500, we got to look at the largest percentages, which are Apple, Microsoft. Tesla's a pretty big one. So tech mostly. Looking at a 20-day chart, Walmart's down substantially. Might be an argument for a dip buy of Walmart, especially with Amazon's weakness and people nervous about it. I might buy a little bit of Walmart today too. It just depends. I'm going to let time wait, and I'm going to wait for CPI to come out tomorrow before I start taking any big positions. Tesla just cracked lows again at 168.30s. Right now, 168.30s. Yeah, Bitcoin doing all right. All right, Apple at 148.60s here. So, but again, this is Tesla dropping right now. There's the market rebounding a little bit here. So the market broke lows, and now it's basically right back up to those lows here. It's at 384.60s. So this is an interesting dynamic right now. I want to make sure that the White House isn't speaking currently. Okay, so it doesn't look like it started yet. Yeah, we're waiting. So it's scheduled to start at 8 a.m. But there's a rebound all the way back up to 385s here. We are in a little bit of Schwab, but we're kind of flat now. We were smart and took profit at the very top. So we were smart and took profit a little bit at the top. Apple rebounded completely back up. Tesla still consolidating around the lows. A lot of chop right now, going back and forth here. But all right, back all the way back up over the previous low of the day break that we just hit here. So Exxon breaking down. FRC, again, another big bank. There's the market rebounding all the way back up. Oh, wait, sorry. That was one of my affiliates. But yeah, so getting a little bit of rebound here. We'll see if we hold this level. And again, Schwab is back up here. So you can see we make it a little bit on Schwab today. Yeah, I'm in Central Time. My bad. So it's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when it's scheduled to start. Again, we'll stream the whole thing. So you'll be able to watch all of it, guys. So don't worry about that. Like, we'll be able to watch all of it here. Yeah, volatility kicking up a little bit. And again, if you want to help support the channel and day trade some of this craziness, check out Top Step. Top Step is one of the ways you can get exposure to some of this stuff. Again, if you look at the E-mini here, here's the E-mini. And you can see it's the same thing as the SPY, right? So you can essentially day trade the S&P 500 on the right side with no PDT restriction. You can day trade in short. If you want to try out futures and see if you're ready to actually trade it with real money, try out a funded account program. It's so cheap. I wish I would have done this when I first got started because I would have just saved myself money. It's a lot cheaper to try out futures in one of these funded account programs because most new traders lose. When I first started trading, I lost like $4,000 in a couple of weeks. I was disheartened. I was distraught over it, to be honest, because $4,000 was a lot of money to me. Because of that, these funded account programs are inherently useful because you can try out certain markets. Like you could try out the futures market, for instance, with no risk. Over $140 a month, but you still have some pressure, right? So you still have some pressure to succeed if you could pass their testing. Basically, they give you a demo. If you could hit the target on their demo while following their rules and pass their profitability test, so they'll test your profitability. If you could pass it, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. If you don't pass it, it's so much cheaper and you would have lost way more trying out the market yourself, right? So in that regard, it just makes a lot of sense to test invest yourself as a trader. Again, the base package is less than $140 a month if you use my link. They are a sponsor of mine though, and so I'm definitely biased in their favor because they pay me money, and I always try to be transparent about that. But again, if you want to check it out, there's the link. We do commercials maybe once every hour or so. So I hope you guys understand. But yeah, market pulling back a little bit under that 385 spot. Still watching FRC to see what happens there. We're right around 29.50. What numbers, Marcus? There's not really any numbers today, brother. So we don't really have any big economic data today. The numbers come out tomorrow is when the real data comes out. We had Indian CPI drop today, but it's not a huge, market mover or anything like that. We don't really have anything today. So today what we have, I think we might have some earnings. All right, but look at FRC and other bank stocks bounce up while the market is dropping. So yeah, this morning we had ZIM, we had Lufax, a few other stuff, but not big earnings today. Nothing really big today, honestly, in terms of earnings and earning potential. We have Lennar. Wednesday we have Adobe and 5, but still nothing big to be honest here. Earnings season is essentially over. Now we got FedEx and Meta Materials dropping their earnings on the 16th. Maybe FedEx is big enough, but all right, so we bought some Schwab. We're sitting in that now. We're going to see if we bounce back. Car, man, listen, brother. You said crash, and then you actually changed last week to long, brother. I saw you, It's like I could say, hey, the market's going to crash, and then I can say, hey, the market's going to drop, and then I could say, hey, the market's going to go up, and basically say all three, and then one of those has to happen. And so then when it happens, I could say, oh, see, I said the market was going to crash. It's like, did I really though? Or did I just say everything? FRC starting to bounce back up to 30s now. Up to 30s. Yeah, sorry. I get the I told you so's get kind of old, bro. We got so many people here trying to be like, I told you so. They could say, hey, the market's going to go up. The market's going to go down. The market's going to go sideways. And then whenever one of those happens, they're like, see, I said that. I said that. It's like, yeah, but you said all three, really, And just to put it into perspective, I do have access to like the history of the chats in the comments, so I can look up directly what you guys said. All right, so FRC reversed here under 29s right now, under 29s. All right, guys, so market's all the way back up to 385s. 385s. Google all the way back up to 9170s here. All right, SPY at 385s. We'll see if it rebounds here. We've basically been in a pretty neutral chop action over the up to this point here. So we've basically been pretty sideways leading up to this. We're at 385s right now. So we've gone up and down testing this level multiple times here. The market's actually been in a pretty sideways trend. You could also see a flag pattern on Schwab here. We're holding a little bit of Schwab. So we are holding a piece of Schwab. I don't know what we're going to do, but yeah, I might buy a little bit today, but it's going to be small size. And we bought a little bit after the drops last week that we're actually green on today. So we bought some Google last week. And again, we're very green on that one this morning. Same thing with, we bought Disney is what we bought. That one we're flat on, but we got time and we might add to it a little bit more. I just like Disney when it starts to hit 90. And so we got some time to let that work as well. Tesla just popped back. Yeah, we can look at Tesla here. Here's Tesla. FRC is just too slow for my taste right now. Not slow, I'm sorry. FRC is just too chop over the last couple minutes to get really interested in it. But here's Tesla here. And so you can see Tesla dropped all the way down to under 170. It hit 169s currently. So we got time for that one as well. Remember, in 30 minutes, the president speaks regarding all the stuff going on. That should influence things. So y'all just be careful. Because we're going to get some volatility from that almost certainly. JP Morgan is trending. The flag on Schwab doesn't look bad, though. Tesla trying to bounce back up to 170s. We'll see if it can. Here's 170 right here. And so what an interesting day today, man. It should be fun. Again, the president speaks in a couple minutes. Oh, I think we got a scam right now. Oh, right now. Okay, so maybe. Okay, yeah, there's a scam Elon Musk posting right now, guys. So there's a scam Elon Musk posting a stream called Tesla shareholder announcement regarding the Silicon Valley Bank. Basically, it's one of the fake giveaways. You need to report this video immediately if you can. It's basically a fake video. It's not the real Tesla. You need to report it. They're basically going to pretend to do a crypto giveaway. I'm going to report it for... Scams are fraud. Everybody report this if you can. So again, there's a fake Elon Musk. What they do is they send the way they scam people from these is that they wait for some crazy stuff to happen, and then what they'll do is they will send it thousands and thousands of fake viewers, right? And the whole point of them sending it thousands of fake viewers is they want to make it look legitimate, right? And so they'll send it all these fake viewers, and they'll send it all these thousands. And so the random person who doesn't understand these scams, right? The random person that doesn't really understand this sees a stream with Tesla or Elon Musk in it that's got 5,000 viewers, right? And so they're going to be like, oh, well, this must be legit. It's got 5,000 viewers, right? But it's just a fake page. It's a fake page. What they'll also do, another thing that they'll do is they'll create a playlist, and they'll include the real Tesla videos in the playlist, right? So when you look at their playlists, it looks like they're the real Tesla because they have a check mark next to some of the videos because it's the real Tesla's videos that they built a playlist for. And then they'll send it a bunch of scam fake viewers, and then they'll try to get people to send them crypto, right? The biggest way they do this is they'll say, hey, we're going to do a crypto giveaway. You know, if you send us one Bitcoin, you know, is what they'll tell you. And they'll be like, oh, well, we'll send you X amount back, right? You're never going to see your crypto again. They are going to scam you. If you send them any crypto, you will never see it again. That is the entire point of these streams, is to get gullible people to send them free cryptocurrency, right? Like, you get greedy. Greed gets in your head and you say, oh, well, why don't I just go ahead and send it one Bitcoin? bro, you're never going to see your Bitcoin again. It's going to disappear completely, never to be seen again. They're scammers, guys. Like, this is what they do. So just don't fall for it. I've seen so many people fall for it. I've had people that I know well message me and be like, hey, Elon Musk is talking right now. He's talking to Kathy Wood right now. He's talking to Jack Dorsey right now. Look at the stream. And I'll be like, yo, that's a scam. Don't send them any crypto. That's a scam. And they'll be like, oh, no, I've been listening to him for an hour now. It's like, you are listening to a 2-year-old chopped, spliced together live stream. Do not send them money. Do not send them crypto. Do not click the links. Report it as soon as you can. Yeah, CPI is tomorrow. So CPI is tomorrow, guys. It's not today. It's tomorrow at 8:30. So they're going to pay out depositors at SVB, but that's it. Basically, the whole company's going to fail. So if you're invested in SVB, tough investment. Yeah, so we don't have CPI today. CPI is tomorrow. It's not YouTube doing it. It's just they're sending it so many fake viewers that it's making it pop up in people's feeds. Oh yeah, well there's a Fed meeting today, but it's a closed door Fed meeting that we're not going to have access to. So like there's a meeting today, but it's a closed door meeting that we're not going to have access to. Is what it is. So yeah, there's a meeting today, but it's going to be at 11:30, and it's closed door that we're not going to be able to see or have anything to do with, really. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be problems all the way around, man. Again, it's dragging the whole banking sector down. Now, the real question is, are you buying the dips after this? Like, are you buying the latest dips in markets? I don't know. So the only thing I'm really holding right now, we're holding break-even position in Schwab. We're holding a little bit of Google, but these are very small positions. These are all less than 40 shares and everything. And so that's a very small position for me personally here. Sheesh, man. Sorry, guys. Bro, why is it opening up stuff on my main screen here? Very frustrating. How do I get this to stop opening up on my main screen? Luckily, it's just some influencer agreement that I have to sign. All right, so I got to go to display. Settings. All right, Tesla started test lows again. Look at Tesla all the way down at 168.60s here. 168.60s. All right. No. Wrong, man. It switched it to the wrong one, dude. Ugh. What does this mean? Sheesh, man. Sorry, guys. Yeah, bear with me, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to mess with this right now. The only thing I really do is put this up so you guys can see me right now. Hold on. I'm trying to fix this if I can. I want to change the display settings here, so bear with me. All right, yeah, so yeah, TRKA. Tesla just cracked lows again, guys. All right, we're gonna put this up just because we need to. Oh, wrong screen. Great. Bro, what is up with my freaking monitors, dude? Honestly, my freaking screen changes. Now it's like it's the wrong screen. Even the streaming is done to the wrong screen. I gotta stop this, present it, share the screen again, and now I gotta share this one, which is screen 1, and then share the audio again. There you go. Tesla breaking lows down there. Look at Tesla on the right side here breaking lows. Bear with me, guys. I don't know how to change this. Hold on. Now I got to go here, and I got to go to display settings here. At least it's open it up in the right one, but when I search for anything, it's on the wrong end now. I guess you guys can't see it. At least it opens up here. SPY, yeah, new trend. Yeah, look at Tesla just dump under lows here. It's gonna drag the market down for sure. Look at this. So it's down to 167.80s here, 167.80s. All right, guys, we got about 25 minutes. Biden speaks today, and so we do have about 25 minutes before Biden speaks. Sheesh, man. All right, I got to figure out a way to stop this. All right, bear with me. I'm gonna have to put myself up again. Hold on one second, guys. So yeah, so hold on one second. Just bear with me here. I gotta figure out some display settings. Oh no, what have I done, dude? Oh my gosh, dude. All right, now I have it so that I can't even find my mouse on the display screen right now. Absolutely ridiculous, dude. All right. Okay, no, that didn't work. Sheesh, guys, I'm sorry. Hold on. Honestly, this is absolutely freaking ridiculous right now. Where did it go, dude? Ugh. All right. My bad, guys. Hold on. Here, I might have to switch this. Hold on. No, that just definitely does not work. All right, let's put 3 on the bottom. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Now I got to play with my monitors. Somehow I made this one my main one, and I got to switch it. I think that probably fixes the problem. Yeah, that kind of fixes it. But now I got this monitor. How do I uncheck it, make it for my main display is my question. Mark says, as always, great channel. Glad to have made a return to trading. I'm curious on what you guys think Tesla's true value is. We'll put this up so let people read that. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm trying to get my monitors fixed up here, guys. So bear with me, team. My apologies. Oh, my gosh. No. There we go. LG Full HD. I'm sorry, bear with me, guys. We're trying to get this fixed up, dude. It's just so annoying at this point. Okay, yeah, that definitely didn't work. All right, guys, we're just gonna have to be careful in what we do here. I'm gonna put the screen back up. So hold on. I'm just gonna have to be careful in what I do. This is not gonna work, man. It's so frustrating. I'm just gonna have to be careful what we do, and we'll have to fix this afterwards. Bro, and my whole TOS just basically died here messing with this. All right, so we fixed it, but such a pain in the butt right now, man. I'm sorry, guys. All right, we got it fixed, but dude, honestly, sheesh, man. All right, we got it back up. Took long enough, man. My bad, guys. But yeah, thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, Tesla's starting to break down at this point in time. Look at Tesla all the way down to 166. So Tesla's kind of starting this drop that we're getting currently. There's Tesla. There's Google in the middle. Google reversing back down here. We can see the SPY in the breaking down under lows as well. And again, the question is it time to buy stuff up from this weakness here? Is it time to buy stuff up? What else can we look at? The dollar index, I think, is important to watch. Here's the Dixie on the right side here. So the dollar index is dropping down too, which is a really interesting nuance because it means that it essentially means that there's a positive correlation between the Dixie and the market. Yeah, what's up, Mark? Thanks, man. I appreciate the donation, brother. Yeah, I'm trying to move this, dude. Oh, wait, I think I can figure it out. Hold on. Let me see. Display. Display. I want this to be my main. All right, I think I figured it out. Let me close all this just in case. All right, I figured it out, man. And I will say I'm dumb. All right. All right, I'm dumb. All right, here we go. I fixed it. Hold on. All right, I genuinely figured out how to fix it. There we go. All right, I got it. Sheesh, man. That took me way longer than it should have. I think being on stream, it makes just the nerves higher. But there we go. That is the correct monitor now. Now it doesn't have the search bar. All right. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Appreciate it, man. Is it time to buy stuff up, I guess, right now is the question here. I think we got a lot of value at this point in time, a lot of cheap value. But, you know, again, if the bank weakness continues, I think it's all relative to what happens on CPI day tomorrow. I think that's the biggest day. But yeah, Silicon Valley, the sketchiest part of this whole ordeal is that the SVB bank sold millions of dollars worth of his shares ahead of this, right? So he basically got out in time. It depends on the time frame. Again, if you want to see where we're at with regards to the market here, here's the market currently. All right, so here's the SPY. So again, the SPY is on a trend like this over the last 6 months. All right, so here's the SPY's trend over the last 6 months right now. All right, so here's the SPY's trend. All right, so that is the trend of the SPY over the last 6 months. Now, what does that mean for moving forward here? I don't know. I don't know what this means. Again, a crash would mean this. Right? I mean, really, ideally, probably, or not ideally, but if it's a real crash, it actually means more than this, right? If it's a real crash, it means this. That would be a real crash. Now, again, is that what happens? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, there's an emergency closed door meeting, Rick, at 11:30. And again, I really don't know. As I've said, basically throughout this whole thing, I really don't know what's going to happen. Nobody really does. We can all try to guess. But bonds are a big risk. We've talked about it a lot. So yeah, SVB Bank basically failed. What's going to happen is that they're going to pay depositors of the bank. So they're going to pay depositors, but they're not going to pay investors. So if you're invested in SIVB, you basically lost everything in this company. Anything that you invested into it, you lost essentially into this company. And so basically shareholders are going to lose everything, but depositors, so account holders with the bank basically are going to be fine. That's the thing to understand. Yeah, CPI tomorrow is going to be a huge influence over all this. Like, so remember, CPI inflation data drops tomorrow. That's a huge day. That is going to be very relevant. We also have the rate hike decision on the 22nd. So we do have the rate hike decision on the 22nd. That will influence all of this stuff too, of course. That will be influenced by everything that happens over the next couple weeks. We got CPI tomorrow, PPI Wednesday. And these are big days. So again, we'll see what happens, but very important stuff coming out over the next couple weeks here, to be honest here. A lot of very relevant economic data coming out over the next couple weeks. And again, it's incredibly important stuff today. Very, very important stuff today. We'll have to wait. But we did a poll number here on what the rate hike is ultimately going to be. 43% think we're going to do 25, and I agree with them. I think we're going to show up at 25 basis points. So I think we're going to do 25 basis points. I think that's almost certainly what we're going to get. I think there's a chance we pivot to 0, but I don't think it's a super high chance. I think if we do pivot to 0, we're going to get some short-term bullish sentiment in markets. So if we do pivot to 0, I think we're going to get some short-term bullish sentiment in markets. Now, what that means long-term, we don't know. But a lot of people think we're going to have 0 rate hikes. Again, you can vote on the poll. We did a Twitter poll as well as a YouTube poll also here. But yeah, SPY dipping down here. Looks weak. We might buy it up while we're at these lows here. So I'm going to buy the SPY here. I think we've dropped a lot. At the same time, though, I think... all right, so we're going to buy up some more. There's 10 shares. Take 20 shares. We're not going to buy up a lot. I mean, we're going to take 10 or 20, maybe 30. Maybe 40 shares max here. All right, so there's 40 if we can get filled. Or there's 30. All right, so we're in 30 shares of the SPY here. We might add another a little bit more if we continue to drop. All right, so there's 40. That'll be the main position right now. I don't think we're going to add more than that. We also have... FRC, First Republic Bank's collapse going on here. And we do have the president speaking in about 12 minutes or so. 12 minutes for the president's speech. He's scheduled to speak about. So again, he's scheduled to speak about the economy and banking. He's delivering remarks on maintaining a resilient banking system and protecting our historic economic recovery. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, it's 40 shares, so it's going to be a small trade. Yeah, 0 basis points would create banking relief for sure. But it's also going to make a lot of fear regarding future inflation problems. So 0, it seems good, and it'll probably cause a short-term bull response in markets. But it's also not. It also could be interpreted as worse because it just means that there's going to be a lot of problems with inflation moving forward. You know, like that's the risk. All right, so we're going to take another 20 shares. There we go. So we got 50 shares. Just the reason I'm doing 50 is so I can do 25 share increments here. We also have the press speaking. Again, I'm going to preface this with, like, please don't copy me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I might be wildly wrong about this. And this is a relatively small trade for me in 50 shares. The reason I'm buying up here is because I think we've had we've had really big drops short term. And the president's about to speak, and he'll probably want to say positive things, in my opinion. Again, I might be wildly wrong here. So do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm doing. And again, I might be wildly wrong. But I don't mind establishing a small position in case we bounce back. And we're now in the green on the trade. Very small green trade here, but green nonetheless. And again, who knows if we'll keep it. Yeah, so there's going to be... That's not what this is, though, Al. You're talking about the closed-door Fed meeting. All right, so we just cut half of that, locked in profit on it, and protected it, like we said, so we could do 25 share increments. I thought we might rebound some here. And there we go. Here's the rebound starting. So a big bounce back. Take a little bit more off there, but we've locked in enough profit to be pretty solid trade here. We'll let the rest work now. See if we continue a fast rebound recovery. And these are kind of the discrepancies where it's like we're so extended on the downside short term that all right, we just cut it in a little bit more. We're so extended on the downside short term that like that the likelihood that we're going to bounce back quick is high. And so we just scaled out of most of that position. Very quick short-term trade. But again, that's my point, is like extension is a real thing. And again, I'm not saying we don't continue down. You know, I'm not saying we don't continue down. But what I'm saying is, like, when we get movements like this, team, and don't get me wrong, this is a big move. When we get movements like this, it's a lot of red. You know, that's a lot of red. Again, it doesn't mean we're not going to keep going down, but that's a lot of red short term. You know, the more we look like that, the more we're going to be looking like a bounce. And that's exactly what we got. So short-term bounce. Again, I'll let the press speak. Hopefully, if he says some good things, then it'll bounce back quickly. Yeah, my bread and butter is just over like emotional dips. Yeah, we're going to stream it live. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. We're also in this one, green as well, in Schwab. Market's still bouncing back. Again, we got about 7 minutes here until the president speaks. About 7 minutes. So we will... All right, guys. So again, Biden is set to speak. All right, guys. All right, get ready to stream the speech. All right, so luckily we scaled out of most of this trade. We are getting a big, quick, sudden dip in the market here. Let me look at what Tesla did. Luckily, like I said, we scaled out of this position, luckily. But a big dip in the SPY here. Colby said buy when I sold. Yeah, great idea, huh? Nice little drops after that. Good job. Like I said, people could try to trade against me. It's fine. Most of the time, like I said, y'all can keep trading against me. It's okay. But all right, guys, we're waiting for the press to speak. We're live now, waiting for it. We got it on. We're waiting for it to start. It's supposed to start in 9 minutes, or it's supposed to start in 5 minutes. We'll see though. It's supposed to start in 5 minutes, but we don't know for sure. Yeah, Tesla bouncing back a little bit here. Yeah, Jitterly's a little bit late. All right, we are going to throw it in sub-only mode, guys. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button ahead of this here. We're sitting on pause, waiting for everything to start. Yeah, and I mean, we still have 10 shares, so we didn't sell our full position. Again, the whole logic of this trade was to leave a little bit in case he says positive things, which, again, I think is plausible. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I think it could happen. And I think taking some off but maintaining some shares like we did here is the right move a lot of the time. And that's exactly what we're getting, is a nice rebound back. FRC, I think, is super risky right now. Get a quick little rebound in the SPY. Big, fast action moving back here. There it is. Nice bounce back in banks. I'm glad I hold those 10 shares. And again, I'm going to keep holding this. I think we can let this work. Google actually tried to go back green on the day here, so pretty big rebound recovery in markets so far. So again, 10 shares left, just letting that ride back up. We're also still in Schwab. You can see we're technically green, but it's pretty flat. But look at that, over 383s now, still pumping back up. Hey, that dip buy looked good, huh? And this is, again, the point. This is what people need to realize. When people say the sky's falling, that's usually when I buy stuff up. When people say the market's on fire, that's usually when I sell. And so again, this type of extension is very profound. And again, people need to understand, like, a lot of new traders enter the market and they think basically that if you see something gapping up big, that it's really strong, and that if you see something dropping down big, that moving forward it'll be really weak. Not necessarily true. To their credit, though, I think it happens a lot more in shorts, where it's like something gapping down continues weekly. But I think you got to understand extension in the markets, I think, on a short-term basis. And I think that's what this trade is. It's just looking at extension. It's kind of what I do the most in my trading, is just look for big emotional dips where everybody's saying the sky's falling, and then just kind of buying it up and waiting. How do you know when it's extended? I mean, this is a short-term trade, like a lot of the time bears get mad at me when I take these trades. But the thing to understand is, like, I'm not saying we don't continue down. What I'm saying is, look, I'm going to go ahead and take another 5 shares off, and we're just going to hold the rest. What I'm saying, though, is that on a short-term basis, this is a lot of extension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 green candles out of 17 minutes, or 15 red candles out of 17 minutes total is very extended, in my opinion, short term. So the odds that we're going to bounce back in that situation is very, very high. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a for sure thing, but trading is all based off of probabilities, and I think the probabilities of a bounce back when we have that much weakness short term is very, very, very high. Yeah, we're waiting for it to start. He's late most of the time, I would say, so he's very rarely on time, and that's okay. I'm not mad at him for it, but we're still waiting here. Huge rebound. Everything out getting dragged up too. Again, Google's basically flat on the day now. That's nice. Market's still pumping back up. Again, Biden's speech is supposed to be right now. All right, here we go. Here it is. All right, guys. Sound check. You should be able to hear.
Speak about what's happening in Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Today, thanks to the quick action of my administration over the past few days, Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them. Small businesses across the country, the deposit accounts at these banks can breathe easier knowing they'll be able to pay their workers and pay their bills. And their hardworking employees can breathe easier as well. Last week, when we learned of the problems of the banks and the impact they could have on jobs of small businesses and banking system overall, I instructed my team to act quickly to protect these interests. They've done that. On Friday, the government regulator in charge, the FDIC, took control of Silicon Valley Bank's assets. And over the weekend, it took control of Signature Bank's assets. Treasury Secretary Yellen and a team of banking regulators have taken action, immediate action. And here are the highlights. First, all customers who had deposits in these banks can rest assured they'll be protected and they'll have access to their money as of today. That includes small businesses across the country that bank there and need to make payroll, pay their bills, and stay open for business. No losses will be, and this is an important point, no losses will be borne by the taxpayers. Let me repeat that. No losses will be borne by the taxpayers. Instead, the money will come from the fees that banks pay into the deposit insurance fund. Because of the actions that our regulators have already taken, every American should feel confident that their deposits will be there if and when they need them. Second, The management of these banks will be fired. If the bank is taken over by FDIC, the people running the bank should not work there anymore. Third, investors in the banks will not be protected. They knowingly took a risk, and when the risk didn't pay off, investors lose their money. That's how capitalism works. And
I
fourth,
agree.
there are important questions of how these banks got into the circumstance in the first place. We must get the full accounting of what happened and why those responsible can be held accountable. In my administration, no one is above the law. And finally, we must reduce the risks of this happening again. During the Obama-Biden administration, we put in place tough requirements on banks like Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, including the Dodd-Frank law to make sure that the crisis we saw in 2008 would not happen again. Unfortunately, the last administration rolled back some of these requirements. I'm going to ask Congress and the banking regulators to strengthen the rules for banks to make it less likely this kind of bank failure would happen again, and to protect American jobs and small businesses. Look, the bottom line is this: Americans can rest assured that our banking system is safe. Your deposits are safe. Let me also assure you, we will not stop at this. We'll do whatever is needed. On top of all of it, let's also take a look at a moment to put the situation in a broader context. We've made strong economic progress in the past 2 years. We've created more than 12 million new jobs, more jobs in 2 years than any president has ever created in a single 4-year term. Unemployment is below 4% for 14 straight months. Take-home pay for workers is going up, especially for lower and middle-income workers. And we've seen record numbers of people apply to start new businesses, more than 10 million of them, more than 10 million applications over the last 2 years starting businesses. Now we need to keep this progress going. That's what swift action that my administration over the past few years is all about. Protecting depositors, protecting the banking system, protecting the economic gains we've made together for the American people. Thank you. God bless you, and may God protect our troops. See you in California.
Mr. President, what do you know right now about why this happened? And can you assure Americans that there won't be a ripple effect?
Do you expect other banks to fail, Mr. President?
Yeah, I mean, I think he should answer questions. I mean, again, I agree with Biden in some ways. I disagree with him in some ways. But I think we all know why he's not answering questions. You know what I mean? But I do agree with what he said to a certain extent. I think I don't think we should bail out the investors. I'm sorry if you're holding it. If you're holding it, I think you took the risk that you knew was there, and I don't think we should bail out the investors in that regard. I think that's just wasted taxpayer money. And again, if I'm caught sitting in one of these banks, I take the risk. I understand the risk. If the bank goes to zero, then, I lose whatever I invest in the bank. And that's an understandable thing. I don't think we should bail out investors. I think that's a very slippery slope in that regard, where if we start to bail out investors, it could just cause problems. But market's starting to rebound here. Maybe I should have held my shares. We ended up locking in my profit on the SPY there. Again, we bought the dip. We wrote it up. Not too bad here. What did you guys think? Bullish or bearish? I mean, market's moving up. I mean, hey, good for it, man. I hope it continues. Let me know what you guys think, though, regarding everything here. I'm glad he kept it short and sweet, though. I think it needed to be short, That was quick, yeah. No, I mean, I think the depositors should be bailed out. I think there's a difference between speculative investing and holding a bank account. And so I think depositors should be bailed out. I think investors shouldn't. And I think investors getting bailed out is a very slippery slope that we shouldn't allow to happen. I know a lot of people might be holding it and losing money and they're struggling. And of course they want to bail out, but I don't think that's the right move. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't try to get too political, but like, I don't know if with the current inflation market that higher wages is going to be seen as super positive right now. I think inflation's still really bad. And I think all those things can contribute to worse inflation problems. And that, in fact, the Fed's actually trying to do the opposite, which is keep those things down. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow with CPI, very relevant data for CPI tomorrow, as well as, the rate hike decision on March 22nd. Yeah, the speech is over. Yeah, for sure. All right, so there goes Schwab here. Again, we got a little position here. I will sell this pretty fast now that we're seeing a pretty big drop. So I'm going to cut this Schwab trade. So we made a little bit on the SPY, kind of flat on our day trades today. We made a little bit on the SPY, lost a little bit on Schwab. And, aside from that, pretty neutral on the day. Could be worse, I think. We'll see what happens with everything else. With the CPI report coming out tomorrow, it'll be really interesting to watch. But yeah, we're going to get ready to trade some futures, man. We've had a great month, just kind of slowly chipping away at our futures trades. Remember, there's a new contract in the futures market. So there's a new contract here. Market's bouncing back, though, here. So maybe I should have held a little bit. But there is a new contract in futures. Now, before we go full on into futures, guys, check out Chart Prime. Another one of my sponsors is called Chart Prime. They are a trading view indicator service that you can use in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. I use them on the SPY or the E-mini. And so again, here's the SPY or the E-mini. One of the really useful things about this is a company that automatically documents support or resistance. They document chart patterns for you so you can kind of see what's going down in the market. And again, here's a great example of kind of what they offer here. If you look at Chart Prime, here's Chart Prime from last week, right? And this is a very cheap service too. So it's very cheap. Again, they give you custom reversal signals. You can see a reversal down signal here and then nice drop over like hours. This one was wrong, but we did get a bounce in this one. Look at the bottom. When the real edge is when you find multiple showing up together at once. So here's two bullish engulfing signals, a possible reversal up signal, and with that, it predicts the very bottom, a drop over the next 15 minutes, and then again a reversal signal at the top, and we get another drop here. And so you can kind of see they can be surprisingly accurate. Now this is a sponsor of mine. Here's another one. Here's multiple weakness levels, and they automatically document support or resistance as well here. So they do auto document support or resistance as well. And so you can see here's the top of the range. You can see the dotted line is the strongest support or resistance level. And look at 3 indicators. We get a nice drop over like a 20-minute period. Here's another engulfing candle that called the very top. We get a nice little drop here. And so again, it's called Chart Prime. And again, you can use this in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures, a lot of different stuff. And again, this can be very, very useful. I use it in futures a ton. So if you want to check out Chart Prime, it's very cheap right now. You can get it for 40% off, which is like $35 a month. So cheap right now. So cheap right now. Tesla's starting to bounce back. And so you can use it on individual stocks. You can use it in futures. You can use it in stocks. There's the link. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Biden is done talking, Robert. If you're going to cry about a sponsor, you know, you can go watch somebody else. It's all good, man. Biden's done talking, bro. You know, and so again, I mean, if you think he's still talking, I mean, that's cool. But like, you're probably watching it delayed somewhere else, bro. You know. Oh, and you better believe we're advertising stuff here. You know, again, we have sponsors just like every other YouTuber in the world. If you're mad at anybody for making money and having sponsors, you're probably just mad about your own situation, to be honest. Again, nobody's going to spend 4, 5, 6 hours a day plugging something, you know, for out of the kindness of their heart. Nobody's going to spend 5 or 6 hours a day streaming if they're not making money from it. And again, getting mad at people on YouTube for making money is just silly, and it really shows more about you than it does about anybody else. In the end, we're just like the radio channel. So like, we're like the radio. So like every 30, 45 minutes, we have a commercial, just like the radio is. We don't sell a course. We don't sell a service ourselves. We don't claim to be good traders. We don't act like experts. We don't charge a penny for any of our content whatsoever. There's no paywalls behind any of our content. Even becoming a member doesn't give traders extra content. It's just a way to help support the channel because we're just a resource and community. And so, yeah, you better believe we make money with sponsors. And again, if you don't like it, cry about it. You'll be all right. Yeah, he's already done speaking, Robert, is my point, man. We streamed the entire Biden speech live. We finished it all. We streamed the entire thing live, and now it's over, sir. SPY bouncing back nicely, though, here. I think we got an obvious trend that we could watch. We'll see if this trend ends up breaking. But here's the trend so far in the market. Robert, stop, stop yelling, Robert. Yeah, it lasted a couple minutes. John, what chart frame is the best? I mean, it depends on the time frame of your trades. You know, so like you could use a 1 minute chart, but you better be taking quick short-term trades. You could use a 5 minute chart, but you better be taking longer term trades. Point is, you shouldn't be scalping off of a 5 minute, and you shouldn't be taking long-term trades based off of a 1 minute. And so the best time frame really depends on the time frame you're holding your trades. Market's bouncing back. Look at the market pop all the way back up. SPY up to 384s. Hey, thank you, Maximus. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Hey, thank you, William. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I appreciate the kind words. Like I said, sometimes I just got to kind of correct people here. People get weird, like I said. And if you're one of those people that really gets mad at somebody else for having sponsors on YouTube, you're probably not being realistic. You got to have reasonable expectations for people. You know, if somebody's spending their time streaming, giving you guys free content that doesn't cost anything, you know, that doesn't cost a penny for you to watch, you can watch it completely free without paying for anything. You can't really get mad at those people if they have sponsors that support their channel and subsidize the channel. It's just not really a reasonable expectation from people. And again, you got some people who are usually people who like don't make money, right? So people that are kind of insecure about not having money themselves, those are usually the people who get the most upset about other people making money. The reality of it is, though, if you guys want to make money for yourself, like getting mad at other people that make money is not the way. You know, you got to try to build something up for yourself if y'all want to make money too. And I think that's a normal expectation. So we are green in our Google trade here. We're up to, we're slightly green in Google. Disney bouncing back as well. Again, we'll see if the market holds this trend, which is getting very close to it. It's topping it now, but it's starting to hug that bottom line there. So we'll draw this and see if it continues, but yeah, but to be fair, that's kind of his job, you know. So Robert, he's done speaking, brother. You know, I mean, we got again, Robert, he is not speaking anymore. The speech lasted for about 5 minutes, and now it's over, sir. So, I mean, again, you can watch a recap of it. You can rewind the stream and watch it. We stream the whole thing live right here. But that is now over. He's no longer speaking. It only lasted for about 5 minutes. Yeah, for sure, Sean. Honestly, they give me the option to add more ads to my videos and my streams, and I never do. Like, I never add any additional ads. The only ad you'll watch on my stream is if it's at the very beginning of it, I think. And they let me, like, if I wanted to, I could press that button and give you guys an ad whenever, you know. But I don't. It's all good. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't use Trade Evade. I use Quant Tower, Arcane. There's so many cons out there. I'm glad I found this web to get news and clean. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we try to. Hey, thank you, Drew. All right, guys. Market opens up at 11 minutes, guys. 11 minutes. We did pretty good though the last couple weeks here. Here's my profit graph over the last couple weeks. We're doing pretty well. We just got to be smart with how we trade. All right, we broke under that trend. All right, so here's the last week. It could have been a little bit better than this, but here's the last week of profit. Again, we got about a 3.36 to 1 ratio here. We got this month so far. So here's the month of March so far. We could have been doing a little bit better, but we're not doing that bad. We got about a 3.33 ratio this month. So that is March so far here, guys. That is my profit graph pulled directly from a platform on day trading. So yeah, we'll see what we get, guys. No one named Robert is talking out of fear of being the Robert. Yeah, there's 2 Roberts. All right. Let me scroll all the way back here and find the one I'm talking about, the one that keeps getting mad at me for not streaming the speech when the speech is over already. The speech has already started and finished, you know. Will the real Robert please stand up? Right, for sure, man. That's what we do. Whatever Fed has done past year doesn't mean much. Yeah, I mean, look, we broke this trend here. We're starting to break down. Again, we'll see what happens. Tomorrow is really the big day. So, like, today's a day, but tomorrow's the bigger day. Hey, what's up, cats? The Dread Pirate Robert. Hey. What's up, Derek? I'm Spartacus. We just watched the movie That Thing You Do. The Fed emergency meeting is at 11:30, but it's closed door, so like we're not going to have access to it. So it's closed door, so we're not going to be able to see it, unfortunately. So we're slightly green in Google. Hey, what's up, Triple? Any prediction for tomorrow for CPI? I don't know. CPI is expected to show up at 6%. I think that's a little low. I think there's some risk there, but I don't know. We'll see. But tomorrow is the big day. Yeah, tomorrow and even Wednesday will be kind of big. So like Wednesday is PPI. So tomorrow is CPI, is the Consumer Price Index. It's essentially buyer inflation, which is all very relevant to like what we got going on with all this stuff happening. And then Wednesday is PPI. So Wednesday is the Producer Price Index. Every time you do trend lines, it breaks the bottom. Well, yeah, I mean, the whole point, though, like the reason it breaks eventually is because these little short-term trends on a 1-minute chart are not going to last forever, man. Like these trends are not going to hold for extended periods of time. To be honest, if they did, it would be way too easy to make money from them. So a lot of the time you can look for something like this where the trend line breaks and, you know, we get something like we break the bottom of the trend, we rebound back up, and then when we reject off of it and go like another direction like that, sometimes that's what again, I don't know what's going to happen, but sometimes we'll see something like that. Hey, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, man. You mean to tell me you don't know the future, bro? I have no idea what the future holds. I'm probably the person on YouTube who says the most. I don't know. You know, everybody else tries to make these big, bold predictions, and I always just tell people I have no idea what's going to happen. Surprisingly, though, I still get hate for it. Yeah, I'm kind of reading everything else. Western Alliance. What's Western Alliance symbol? Let me see. Tesla bouncing back a little bit, though. So Western Alliance is WAL. W-A-L. Look at W-A-L. W-A-L dropping from $50 all the way to 13s. Wow. So this thing essentially... Wow, so this thing essentially dropped like 70. This thing dropped like almost 70%. Almost 70% drop in Western Alliance this morning in pre-market from $50 down to 15. It's a big drop. And again, look at exactly what happened, guys. You see what we drew here? Remember what we drew here. You know, if you are going to play these trend breaks, again, look familiar? Yeah, we see these trend breaks enough to kind of recognize that pattern that shows up there. Yeah, isn't it called? Yeah, so it's kind of the Dunning-Kruger effect. So he says, Socrates, one of history's greatest philosophers, doubted his omniscience and famously stated, all I know is that I know nothing. And so it kind of goes to show, like, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect, where it's like people who are the least capable are usually the ones out there claiming to know exactly what's going to happen and, you know, all that stuff. So, yeah, Roku's got big exposure to the bank SIVB. So that's the problem. Market pulling back now some. TRKA. Yeah, but I mean, TRKA has dropped 75% in 4 days. You know? So it's dropped 75% in 4 days. So, like, yeah, bounce back is cool and all. If it bounced back from, you know, I don't know what the lows it hit, but it's dropped 75% in 2 days. I bought at 23. Yeah, good luck, Mark. Empty can rattles the most. Yeah, for sure. I give yours about a 1 out of 10 car. You predicted market going up, market going down, market going sideways. And so now that the market dropped, you're just kind of saying, hey, I predicted that. But really, you predicted a number of different things. Like I said, I have the chat history. So I give you about a 1 out of 10, sir. 1 out of 10, you know. Yeah, so they have the emergency Fed meeting at 11:30. We're not going to have access to it, though. It's a closed-door meeting. So I would stream it for you guys like I normally do, but it's a closed-door meeting. Right, better than 0 out of 10 optimism. Hey, you know. A pause isn't a pivot. Yeah, for sure, Waz. We'll see what happens. I don't know, man. All right, guys. Hey, we talked about what would happen potentially here. Did y'all see the trend that I drew earlier before this? I said, hey, a lot of the time when we get these trend breaks, we do something like that. And I think we drew something like this. But, yeah, that's the point. Top 3 greatest ever of all time. How's Roku doing right now, man? All right, guys. We got less than 2 minutes. Roku looking rough, as it should be. It's got exposure. Is this Donald Duck? I kind of liked it, but all right, guys, 30 seconds. All right, guys. Hey, market's about to open. SPY has turned all the way back down here, guys. All the way back down. Donald Duck. All right, guys, there's the opening bell here, team. There's the opening bell. We'll see how the market behaves. So far at the open, we're getting red action. Doesn't mean it's going to hold, though. But there we go. A little bit of rebounding stuff. I hope we rebound here, to be honest. Watching Tesla, watching the market itself. A little bit of a rebound coming through. Schwab bounced back here. Tesla bouncing back a little bit. All right, guys. So sorry. Honestly, I was supposed to have a dentist appointment today, but like I'm so tired, dude. I don't think I told Carol to call it and cancel it. All right, guys. Market's correcting back down a little bit. Just broke lows. Not lows of actual like day, but lows of market hours. Schwab dumping down here. What I'm really interested in seeing is, so is FRC halted? So yeah, First Republic is halted at the opening bell. It was moving up when it was halted, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good sign here, to be completely honest. I don't know if that's a good sign. FRC halted on the way, what looked to be on the way up, but market is kind of choppy back and forth here. We haven't really had any big volatility currently. So like here's the SPY. FRC halted on the way up. No, I cut my Schwab trade. I got out of it. Again, I'm not I don't hold on to those very long. So I cut it when it was at like 52, I think, or something like that. I ended up losing like 20 bucks. Yeah, a lot of bank stuff's halted here, which would be an interesting dynamic of everything right now. We'll see if everything starts to really fall. Schwab broke lows. All right, so FRC was halted at 31, so it should resume at 36 if it's a 5-minute halt. Something tells me this isn't going to be a 5-minute halt, though. So we'll see. But Walmart's skyrocketing up here. That was great. I liked Walmart too in banking, or I liked Walmart too on the downside. I think it was just cheap, but I think it might be a little bit too high to enter it. Yeah, I'll probably start buying Disney up if it starts to break under 90 and, under 90s. I'm already holding a little piece of it. All right, there's the market finally bouncing back up. So market is rebounding here. And other stuff's starting to follow suit. We're back green on Google in the day. Very choppy open right now, though. Very, very choppy open. Now we're kind of correcting back down here, too. So we're kind of slow right now. We don't really have any big trend, and I don't really see much edge attacking this currently. Yeah, the 11:30 Fed meeting will be super interesting, to be honest. All right, there's the market testing the bottom low area again. Yeah, very volatile price action right now, but in a lot of stocks. But if we look at the actual market here, the market's pretty chopped. I mean, this is the opening bell range right now. So the market is in this opening bell range here. So this is the low of the range, which will be the most interesting thing to watch. If it starts to crack that could show sentiment for the rest of the day. But here is that low of the range area right around there. All right, there's the test of the low of the range here for the SPY. All right, we got 1 minute, and then I doubt FRC. I'm sure FRC is a news pending halt, I'm assuming right now, right? So it's got to be a news pending halt. So, yeah, FRC was halted with, I guess, a volatility halt. So it's halted with the halt code M, which I believe is a volatility halt. So it was halted with halt code M, which is volatility trading pause. Okay, so yeah, it should resume, to be honest, in about anytime over the next 30 seconds is when it should resume. Anytime over the next 30 seconds. So let's watch FRC here. We'll put FRC up. I'll show you guys the trend too. So here's FRC. So there's FRC right here. All right, so it's resumed. So FRC is back. It's back resumed. And it got halted immediately back again on the way down. So it resumed, got halted immediately on the way down. All right, so FRC is halted immediately on the way down. It'll resume at about 41 or 42. Market rebounding fast, but let's see if it actually holds these. Schwab halted as well. Now, Schwab halted as well. Volatility trading pause on that one. It broke lows down at 47s for Schwab. Yeah, stuff's getting halted. All right, so we got Schwab down. Schwab was halted from a volatility trading pause. So we had all the bank-associated stocks here, which include Schwab, Western Alliance, Comerica, Zion Bancorp, First Republic, Regions Financial, Customer Bancorp, all getting halted on the way down here. So banks are getting hit. So this emergency meeting will be super interesting to see how this plays out here. But banks are getting hit. Yeah, everything else is going to be falling in that sympathy from banks. SPY just broke lows. Yeah, so that 11:30 meeting is in about an hour and a half. But big pullbacks over market activity. All right, so market's still right around the low of the range here. The banks are dragging the market down. A lot of banks are halted on the way down with volatility trading pauses. We haven't taken a trade yet today because, I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of watching the action unfold and everything else. Here's the market trend so far. What's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is that this could trigger a full-on economic collapse. Again, we talked about this a week ago, or maybe we talked about this before the Jerome Powell press conference, right? And with the Senate and the congressional testimony. We talked about this then. And what we said was that if we're going to crash, it would need to be the perfect storm of negative events, right? So Jerome Powell being negative, CPI coming in higher than expected, PPI coming in higher than expected, the Fed being aggressive with their rate hikes. But I think there's another kind of thing thrown in there today in the last couple of days with the banking collapse here. And so this could trigger, big drops. So it certainly could trigger big drops. And if we do crash, it could be from this perfect storm, and again, a crash is possible. A crash is certainly possible. It's not a for sure thing yet. But what I'm saying is, like, the more we dip and dip and dip, the more fear is going to get there. The more banks that fail, the bigger the likelihood of a crash is going to happen. And again, you guys know me. Usually I'm saying, hey, we don't have to crash. And we still don't have to crash necessarily. But again, the more banks that fail, the higher likelihood that that's going to happen. My Google trade actually just went green on the day. So we do have some rebounds back up now. What happens during this emergency Fed meeting tomorrow, or what happens to the emergency Fed meeting today, as well as CPI and PPI tomorrow and Wednesday, are going to influence all of this stuff heavy. Yeah, did Schwab ever resume? So it doesn't look like Schwab resumed here. Or no, it got halted at 39. So it resumed and then broke lows again. Same thing with FRC. FRC went up and then broke lows again. WAL, so banking is what's getting hurt. And these are little banks. Or these are, relative to big banks, these are little, right? But these are still somewhat big financial institutions. Like, overall, they're pretty big. In terms of relative to the big boys like JP Morgan or Wells Fargo or stuff like that, these are small, but these are still big banks. And Bank of America getting hit as well. Market testing lows now. Honestly, would you cash out if you have money in these banks? I probably would have been cashed out, but that's just me personally. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I might just be wildly wrong about everything. Again, what matters the most right now, if you want to see if you want to get a good tail on this, watch the banks. The banks are continuing to fall. Schwab, Bank of America. We also have Wells Fargo. What's Wells Fargo? Wells Fargo is WFC. They're all kind of testing lows right now. Yeah, it depends on what the Fed decides to do on the 22nd, though. Again, we did a poll number asking about this, right? But it depends on what the Fed does on the 22nd. So what the Fed does on the 22nd is going to mean more, like, it's going to influence this big. Like, that's going to be the biggest thing. A lot of people are expecting 0 rate hikes. And again, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the best thing for this right now. I think 0 rate hike is just going to make people fear inflation even more. And again, we're still not necessarily in crash territory yet. Again, it's just saying something where, like, I think we have to look at it as a possibility. I think we have to look at it a possibility. The level I gave last week was 375. We break under 375, it's going to be looking a lot worse. All right, Schwab is back resumed here, but I think there's kind of a fire sale going on right now. Schwab just broke lows again. And so Schwab was, there you go. Schwab just tanked down under 46. And so Schwab resumed and then broke lows again. Curious to see what it does here if it stays open for any extended period of time. But again, I think people are scared now. I think people are just, what's going on right now is that people who are holding shares in these stocks, like one of the things, like there was good and bad news. Number one is that depositors are going to be safe in SIVB. Shareholders are not. And so what that means right now is that other people who have exposure with regards to investments in these banking stocks, a lot of them are scared to hold these things. And to be honest, rightfully so. I don't have any shares of banks. Banking is always one of those sectors that I don't trust to put my money in because of stuff like this. And so the problem is that people that are holding these are scared right now. At the same time, though, there might be some contrarians that say, hey, these are all down big, right? So these are all down big, greedy when others are fearful, fearful when others are greedy kind of mindset might be going on right now. And so, again, it'll be interesting to see. But like that's also a dynamic to watch for as well. We haven't really had that many big moves today in the broader market. Like we were dropping. Now we're moving up a little bit, but it's so choppy since the opening bell. The market opened up here. So it's in, again, you can kind of see the opening bell here. So like here's the open, right? And so mostly since the open, we've gone like this. And so that's just not really much of an edge that I'm trying to trade. So we're going to let things play out. Yeah, I mean, there might be some, like I said, there might be some contrarian trades to take based off of potential weakness right now in banking. You got to look at banks and you got to say, hey, which one of these is the least likely to fail? And you might have some discounts there. Again, I'm not telling you should buy it. I really have no idea what's going to happen here. The market might just tank, but I kind of get that trading strategy because that's kind of how I trade. Now, I'll put it this way. I'm not touching FRC, Schwab, I think will be fine. But the question is, how much does it drop in leading up to that? So like Schwab might be okay. The question is, how much does it drop leading up to that? All right, Google, we're back green on our Google trade again. All right, market's starting to bounce back a little bit. Honestly, we're kind of nicely green in our Google trade now. We'll see if we start to get some rebounds in the broader market right now. There's a big rip. So we're breaking the opening bell high right now. And there's the big rip in markets here. So honestly, we'll see if we can get some movement here. What kind of music is playing right now on my stream? All right, big rips. Let's see if we can buy this dip. I'll go ahead and play around with this. Oh no, this is the main E-mini. Oh no, this is not what I wanted here. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. All right, so we just made some money there accidentally just now. We just made $50 accidentally there just now. This is the regular E-mini. I did not want that, but I will take it, I guess. Hey, finally an accidental trade that makes me money. Finally, bro, an accidental trade that makes me money. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the regular E-mini here, or the regular micro. We're also, honestly, we did buy a little bit of Schwab. And I'm going to go ahead and take half of that off right now, lock in profits. We just made our money back in Schwab there. We're also up a decent amount right now in Google. So I'm going to go ahead and unload just a little bit of shares here. Just to lock in some green on the day there for Google. Just lock that in. Starting to get some rebounds in markets here. Markets flying up. Yeah, hey, honestly, I've been super unlucky with those trades. We are now green on the day as a whole as well. All right, Schwab is halted on the way up on the bounce back right now. So Schwab is halted on the bounce back. Is halted right around $49 a share. We're holding a small position there. But hey, the market's starting to rip. Yeah, this is kind of 90s. This music playing right now is kind of 90s. I kind of like it. Hey, honestly, I will take this bounce back here, to be honest. Here, we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit more off of. Nice. So we're great on the day and everything so far. Cool. Just such a strong bounce back. We'll go ahead and take a little bit more off. Locked some more in on Google. Look at this huge rip back up, guys. Wow. Such a strong move just now. Good, man. Again, I bought the dip in some stuff today. We're up a little bit in futures. We're up in stocks as well, to be honest. Big volatility day. We'll look to buy a pullback. It needs to be a decent enough pullback to buy, but we'll look to buy it. It needs to be a large enough pullback for me to take some here. It's still getting upward momentum here, man. So we're up decent in everything, to be honest. Disney's approaching our previous close price, so we will take some off of Disney if it rips up enough here, like up to 93s would be cool. Just very strong momentum right now. Again, we're up too much for me to really want to buy a pullback here. Very big range for everything here. SPY reeling back finally some. We need a larger pullback for me to want to buy this here, though. And again, Schwab closed at 49. It's 52. So Schwab will open back up in 2 minutes or so. What is playing on my radio? All right, so here's a dip. All right, we got one contract here, and we'll add a little bit to it and see if we get a bounce back finally. So we're in 2 contracts here. I'll add one more to it, but not if we keep dipping this week. All right, we'll add one more to it. All right, there's 3 contracts. And we'll cut this fast too if it starts to really break down, which it might be. That's a big pullback that we talked about. Luckily, we took some off with our Google trade here. I'm gonna go ahead and get out there. So yeah, we just lost some. We're only down about $30 on the day though. But man, that was a big dip. We'll see if we buy something else. Should have stayed in it, man. Look at that huge rebound all the way back up here. So we tested that pullback zone. I told you guys I wanted to buy a decent pullback, and that was it. Schwab resumes much higher right now. So nice for Schwab here. I think we're halted again on Schwab, but that's okay because it got halted on the upside. Man, what a fast rebound back up. Wow. We'll look for a little small pullback and a new candle opening up in a couple minutes. Yeah, I don't know, dude. This is like, sorry about the music. Not really what I usually listen to be honest. It's just, I kind of selected. There's the little mini pullback that we wanted. I didn't want 3 contracts here, but I guess we'll go for it. Schwab turning all the way back down here, and I'm in Schwab right now. There we go. I just took a lot off on that pop. 1 contract left. Locked it in while we could. All right, so we just copped out again. So we're back green on the day. Huge rebound in markets, to be honest here. Again, Google broken or testing highs as well. We're going to start to scale into a position here, but if we move up too much short term, it doesn't matter. All right, nice rip. We just took 1 contract, got the other one off. So we just scalped out of that again. We're up about 60 on the day now in stocks. Or 60 on the day now in futures. More on stocks here. So, wow. Yeah, we're going to sit on Google, I think, right now. We caught a beautiful bounce back. We are now effectively green in Disney as well here. Wow. Just got such a big rebound really fast. I'm locking in more profit on Google. Almost flat on Google now. We've locked in so much profit. SPY is almost back to green on the day as well here. Disney, we're green on the day also now. So yeah, so we're just kind of sitting back, letting things work a little bit more. Again, fearful when others are greedy, greedy when others are fearful situation, team. I mean, that's the best way I can explain this. We only got 1 share of Schwab, so I'm going to unload on that one. Just because it's a little bit too volatile for me. But we made our money back on that one too. Again, man, Google just treating us really nice today is what it was. Google, we had an average of $90 basically in Google. Close to it, somewhere around there. Like if you want to see what we got... our average right now is 90.17. If you look at this average, you know, our average price right now is 90.17 here. And honestly, the market's looking even better, still moving up some. So good for it, man. Again, we'll try to be patient and let this work. But the market bounced all the way back up to 385s. And again, if you want to day trade futures, again, what I'm doing right now is I'm day trading futures. This is one of the ways you can react to it. And this is a platform called Top Step. Top Step's a funded program. So they give you a demo. And if you could pass their testing on their demo while following their rules, they fund you. Market just went green on the day. So yeah, if you want to try out futures, it's the cheapest way to get started without taking on a lot of risk. You know, most new day traders fail and they lose thousands of dollars. And this is one of the ways you can kind of get a little bit lower barrier of entry. Base package is $140 a month. And if you pass their testing, you get funded with a 90% split. So it's almost the same thing anyway, where if you can pass their testing, you get a 90% split and you can, you know, make money doing that. If you don't pass it, you're going to lose money with a real account anyway. And so you're it's much cheaper. The base package is $140 a month and you can reset for 100. And so it's much cheaper anyway. It's just an easier way to get started to test your skill. That way, you know, if you're ready and you don't actually take some size in markets until you're actually ready. And there's no PDT in futures. So you can day trade the S&P 500, which is what you see me doing here. This is just the S&P 500 futures contracts. But again, you can base it off of the extension that we use normally. Just a great way to do it and much cheaper. All right, so market's getting a little bit neutral now, I think. 385 will be an interesting spot right here. But yeah, if you want to check out Top Step, you can see the link in the description as well as the link right there. All right, market got a little down wick here. We'll buy this down wick short term. And then maybe add to it, but there's 2 contracts. I don't want to take too much risk though, so we're just going to keep it with 2 contracts, I think. About flat right now. I usually just try to keep it within a couple hundred is usually what I do. So if I can make a couple hundred in profit, I'm happy with that. I don't try to get greedy. You know, my account size is fairly decent size too. It's about 30,000. But a lot of people, the problem that they have in trading is that they're just too greedy. They just take too much risk. Such a big range on the market today, though, guys. Just be careful. Hold on. All right, so we're flat on this trade here. Because of the risk is kind of high, we're not going to hold this forever either. The up wick is not something that I'm necessarily liking right now. So we'll see if it retraces that back, but I'm going to get my hand over the cover button. Yeah, so we cut it. And look, yeah, there's the weakness coming through. Yeah, I just didn't like that. I thought there was risk there. Everything else starting to come back down a little bit, so. All right, so we just made a little bit more in futures here. We just scalped the regular E-mini. You can see we're up about 130 in futures, about 130 right now. Slowly taking our time. There's the bounce, so we might have made money on the bounce anyway, but I think cutting that last one and Yeah, I think we'll probably do 25. I think 25. I think we're expecting 25 Astro. So 25 is what's expected by most outlets right now. 50 would be higher than expected. 0 is pivot, which is, I think most people are either expecting 25 or 50. I don't think anybody, I think most people are, I'm sorry, are at least expecting 0 or 25. And so originally Jerome Powell said that we might be doing, all right, there's the market ripping all the way back up, getting ready to test highs as well. So we got a cushion on the day, profit. What's up, Sim? FRC halted at the lows, and it looks like me getting out of Schwab was the right move. I mean, maybe not, I don't know, but I did cut that one a couple minutes ago. Yeah, I'm on oh wait, you're right. This is the I need to be on MES M3 is what I should be on. Yeah, so the contract rollover happened. So so there's one contract. I'm gonna start adding to another position here. All right, so we're in this position here. Let's see if we bounce back some. A lot of indecisive price action happening here. I want to see if we rip up though, but market's bouncing back. We're kind of flat here. There we go. Yeah, that's a weak sign. I'm going to cut it and get out. So we're going back and forth. We're still nicely green on the day. My freaking dentist trying to make me come in, man. Look, I love, I mean, dentists are some of the most annoying people, man. Bro, like, I have good teeth here, man. All right, there's the market ripping. Damn it, dude, it faked me out. It's all right. Huge rip right now. Huge bounce coming through. Let's see if the bounce continues here. Huge movement. All right, so we just made a little bit more. So we lost money and then we made it right back here. Trading the regular E-mini. We're up about 240 on the day right now. Market is flying up right now. For our Disney trade, we are now effectively green on the trade here. Nice. I went and took a little bit more off on Disney because I can. I'm going to go ahead and take another 75 shares off just to protect the trade, but a nice little green day here. So again, here's our day on stocks. Freaking dentist though, man. So again, here's our day on stocks. Right, we are up about 130 right now trading stocks. Here's our day in futures. We are up about 240 on the day trading futures. So pretty good momentum all the way around here. Buying the dip this morning looked to be the right move. Big rebound coming through here. No, we swing trade. Really, me taking profit on Disney and Google were swing trades I bought into the last couple of days. So these are mostly swing trades that I had over the last couple of days. Yeah, for sure. These are big candles. I've been having some fun, but a little risky for sure. Kind of a crazy day so far, though, man. Again, we added some to our Disney trade this morning when it was at like the 90s, and we established like a 91 average on the rest. So our average is about 91.20s right now on Disney. Our average on Google right now is about 90.17. I don't know how I got that average, but somehow I did. I guess I bought it right when I hit the lows. But we were able to exit a lot of those positions today. We're still holding Google, very small position on Google. We're holding a little bit more on Disney, but scaled out of, you know, like a decent chunk of it, like 40% of the Disney trade right now. So not too bad. And again, that'll enable us to be a little bit more loose on the rest of the trades. Futures, good day today so far. I don't know what we're going to get moving forward, but there's the market continuing to be very strong here. So it kind of goes to show, like, some of my best trades are just looking for big emotional drops when everybody else is screaming the sky's falling, and then just kind of buying that dip and riding it back here. Now, like I will say that this doesn't necessarily mean anything yet. We could still crash. We could still obviously crash with what's going on. So we could still very much crash if we got a bad string of stuff happening. So if we got bad CPI, bad PPI, and the Fed raises rates in a way that the market doesn't like, then we could very easily get a dump all the way back down here. So this doesn't mean much, but this is just based off of short-term momentum and extension. The Fed meeting is on the 22nd. Tomorrow, we have CPI coming out, guys. So be ready tomorrow. We have a huge day. Tomorrow is the biggest day in the stock market, almost, except for maybe rate hike day on the 22nd. So the 22nd will be huge. Tomorrow will be the next biggest day in the market. So again, tune in live. We will stream the entire thing. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people tune in for our CPI streams. And the reason they tune in is because we cover the data fast. You want to see the market reaction and the data fast with usually less than 2 seconds. We get the data to you and you can watch the market reaction. We'll explain what's going on in the easy to understand way. So, hey guys, hit that subscribe button. I truly do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the support. We are growing like crazy, guys. So again, thank you again. Let's keep the support up and let's keep the growth up, team. Thank you so much, guys. We're pushing towards now 103,000 subscribers. So it'll be fun again. But tomorrow, guys, huge day. Tomorrow, guys, absolutely huge day. And so again, if you want to day trade some of this momentum, check out Top Steps, link in the description. Again, it is a funded account program for futures. Good luck, guys. Love you all. Y'all be safe. Remember, the market can be very, very volatile. I will be back tomorrow bright and early. We'll be starting the stream early. Tomorrow is one of the biggest days in the market. Good luck. Y'all be good. No, so CPI is tomorrow, guys, 8:30. 8:30 tomorrow morning. Biden spoke already. We covered that. We streamed that as well. But good luck, guys. Y'all be safe. Again, tomorrow is one of the biggest days in the market. It's one of the biggest days in the market. It's one of the biggest days to watch. It's a very important day. Inflation expectations tomorrow, guys, are for 6%, which I think is a little low. I think that's kind of optimistic, to be honest, here, in my opinion. 6% is a little bit low. Again, I think it's a little low. We'll see what happens. Good luck. Y'all be safe. Be careful if you're holding bank assets right now. Even with the rebounds, bank assets can be tumultuous. Okay, so just be careful. Y'all be good. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Y'all be safe. I'm getting out of here.